forgot about that, so I will do that now. Let me
Good
get everything going here, and welcome all of you that have joined us. I'm here with Sargon of Akkad, who I'm sure you've all heard of. Go ahead and say hello, Sargon.
Hello, Sargon. I should have stayed sober for this. Sorry.
No, that's cool, bro. It's cool. I was going to say that there's some drama that's apparently brewing. I'm not sure if it happened today or in the last few days.
Oh, what's this?
Angry Joe apparently had like a mini meltdown, and
Against
he pulled
who?
the Keemstar.
Against who? What does
What
pulling
did you say?
Keemstar mean? I don't know.
He basically had a fuck the fans moment.
Oh, really?
Where he just got really mad and was just like, fuck the fans. No, fuck the fans. Like, this isn't a joke. And I was like, wow, like, that's crazy.
Shit.
But that's what happens. He set himself on a schedule. And it was, like, really grueling. Like, every day was supposed to be something. And it just didn't work. And
yeah, I don't think I could commit to that.
He basically had a meltdown. He turned off the comments on his videos and then just bolted. Just apparently he's now on vacation.
Sounds like.
But he did have a fuck the fans moment. He literally, I don't know what he said exactly, but I do know that he was literally like condemning his own fans for pushing him to the point where he was at. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, it sounds like he needs that holiday, man. But to be fair, I mean, he's got millions of subscribers. It can't be easy. Like, it's not easy talking to that many people, man.
Well, the issue I would say, you know, in defense of his fans would be that they want him specifically to do one thing, and he's famous for the reviews. Yeah, and it's very clear at this point for anyone that watches him that he doesn't want to do them. You know, he goes out of his way to try to avoid them, and he avoids very popular games that people actively want him to review. And I don't begrudge him doing other things. I'm totally fine with that. But it's just, I can understand where the anger comes from, because it's like, listen, I subscribe to you to do X, and you're doing, you know, U, Y, and Z rather. And
man, those angry reviews look really fun to make as well. I bet they were a blast.
I would say so, but it seems as though that he is kind of changed in a way, and I'm not really sure if that's just what happens to certain people once they become super famous.
I suppose, yeah.
That eventually you just kind of fall out, like what you enjoy eventually just becomes grueling, and then you stop enjoying it. But I would say that one of the things that I have seen of him is that he is taken to just streaming games on Twitch and bullshitting around, and I would say that that's kind of come to bite him a little bit, because I don't know if it's just kind of like his escape from having to do what he has to do, but I can understand why his fans are upset. But not really the point of this commentary, but I just thought I'd bring it up because it was actually brought up by somebody that he actually mentioned that in the past, that people should avoid doing the fuck the fans things, and then he did it.
Well, they really should.
So,
I mean,
I'm not really sure if that just comes with the territory.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in any case,
everyone off. It's a silly thing to do.
But in any case, I thought we would go through a few articles. I'm going to quickly like this chick for tomorrow. Anyways, let's see. What should we start with? We got 3 articles that we're going to cover here, or at least hope to cover. And all 3 of them are just, I guess we'll start with the easiest one. That's not really that big of a deal. Let me share my screen, and we will start with that. So, actually, wow, I forgot I should have sent this to you. My bad. So you can follow along.
I'll watch the screen. It's fine.
Okay, so this was sent out by, published, I should say, by the New York Times early this morning by Charles Blow. Charles Blow is a NBC pundit, and I have watched him on Morning Joe at more than one occasion, and he is, as far as I can tell, a uber corporatist social justice activist. I mean, like, if you can imagine someone like what's the name of the Black Lives Matter guy with the blue fucking
D-Ray
McKesson. Yeah. Imagine D-Ray McKesson, except like a multimillionaire.
Except as Chris Cuomo.
Yes.
That's awful.
There you go. Exactly. That's you know exactly awful. What I mean. Then that's this guy. Yeah. He is
vacuous
intentionally. So he wrote this op-ed, and it's largely just the same shit that we've heard before. It's just opining about how he doesn't like Trump's behavior. Like, that's his whole shtick. I don't like your behavior. I don't like who you associate with. I wish you were more like Obama. When it's like, no, you are the anti-Obama, and the anti-Obama won. Like,
well,
you
I mean,
don't
like, they've got nothing else to complain about, have they? You know?
No, well, that's the thing, is that these people exist within the frame, and I've said this before, that their main concern is not with policy or anything. I mean, outside of maybe a small boundaries spectrum of policy, but they only care about bourgeois norms. If you break their social norms, it's like spitting in their faces.
Yeah.
And they will never shut the fuck up about it.
This is the thing with Donald Trump. I mean, like, what has he actually done wrong?
Nothing, as far as I can tell, in terms of what would be. I mean, if you are,
right.
You know, I guess the one thing I can think of outside of like more minutia and maybe like the healthcare bill would be the walking out of the Paris Agreement, which, I mean, any Republican would have done.
But I mean, like, criminal. I mean, I don't mean like objectionable policies. I mean, you know, what criminal activities has he taken? You know, they keep talking about.
Well, the thing is, though, so the thing that they're complaining about, the allegations that they're making is collusion. But the thing is that I don't have the article ready, but that's literally all Hillary Clinton did during her campaign was collusion.
Yeah, I know, but even then, it's just like I mean, nothing came of any of it, and I was it even collusion? You know, and I've seen like, you know, Ben Shapiro's breakdowns, and I've seen what the MSM has to say about it, but the MSM seems completely hysterical, and I don't know which one is correct. And honestly, I think I'd trust Ben Shapiro more. So
yeah, I would too, because he
just thinks it's nothing, really basically.
Reason to lie.
Yeah, it's not really actionable, because suddenly loads of other politicians are going to be like, shit, now there's a precedent that we're going to punish people for doing what we do all the time.
Right. And I don't really, and that's why I say, like, and I've said this before, I think that a lot of this is extremely short-sighted, and they don't really understand that by doing what they're doing, and I would argue that this is in many ways a scorched earth kind of campaigning that they're still engaged in. They're complaining about Trump still campaigning, but so are they.
Yeah, he has no choice.
Given this up.
He has no fucking choice. I've never seen anything like this. The press is actively trying to unseat the president. Yeah, that's their mission at the moment. They're trying to dig up something from Russia so they can get rid of him. And it's like, fucking hell, you know?
I forgot who said it, but I think you saw this as well, that there was somebody, I think it was a pundit or a journalist or somebody of relative importance, who said that there's nothing currently there in regards to the Russia thing, but he should be investigated because we'll find something. And it's like you fundamentally don't understand the idea of the justice system, of the presumption of innocence. Like, you fundamentally don't and that's why when people say Trump derangement syndrome, it's real.
Oh yeah, but I mean, that's the point. At this point, when Trump calls it a witch hunt, he's not wrong. Yeah. I mean, they as far as we can tell, they're just hunting around for absolutely anything at this point, saying, is this magic? Is this magic? And you know, it's like, Jesus Christ, just accept it. Just fucking come to terms with it. And that's the thing, right? When you're saying it's all about like bourgeois pretensions, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that the problem is that Donald Trump was heavily supported by the working class. I definitely think there's a class dynamic in this, that Trump has come to symbolize their disdain for the lower classes. And it's because he's so much like them in mannerisms. That's why they love him, because he just acts like them. And the bourgeois cunts hate it.
Yeah, and the thing is that one of the things that I saw immediately after he got elected was, especially when he did the one thing in Syria, and that seems now, that was one of the articles that was sent to me, that he's actually now working with Russia to actually calm things down, which is good.
There was leftists complaining about it. It's actually been really good.
There was leftists complaining about it, or Democratic establishment complaining.
Oh yeah, establishment Dems and corporates, like Republicans, were complaining about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you fucking neocon hawks. John McCain fucking probably was complaining about it. It's like, John.
Well, he's not doing so hot right now.
Yeah, I know. He's just been diagnosed with brain cancer, and he was still on Twitter going on about it.
He was.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh my God, he's like, I don't care if I'm dying. I'm still going on Twitter and I'm complaining. God damn it.
It's like, dude, I'm really sorry.
Dude, I mean, I don't want to talk bad about a guy that's legit dying, but it's like, the guy apparently, He went senile after he lost in
yes, probably.
in 2000 or 2008. He legit went senile.
Yeah, but he's such a like he's what they're thinking of when they think of the deep state, the sort of lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Politicians have been God knows how many decades, and they're so ingrained in the system, just like Hillary. It's that sort of.
I would say John Kerry is actually a better example because he went from being an anti-war advocate to being the Secretary of State and being a war hawk.
Yeah, he's exactly the same kind of person, and you can spot them a fucking mile away. The sort of people who go to the Council on Foreign Relations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking
total lunatics.
They're total neocons. Total neocons.
Oh yeah.
They've got that. Wesley Clark said they had the agenda fucking from before the Iraq invasion. So it's like, come on. At what point do we start taking like these high level people seriously? I don't know.
Apparently forever. Apparently and what's amazing is that the thing that Trump changed when it came to Syria in his negotiations with Russia was they literally said, okay, the CIA is going to stop doing one of its major operations. That's what we're going to change. And it's just like, how are we just admitting now that the CIA has been doing all this shit the whole time? Like that's been admitted now with no.
Oh, I know a fair amount about it.
Yeah, by the way, the CIA is doing a ton of shit there, and we're funding jihadis. By the way.
Well, no. It wasn't that they were funding jihadis, but the problem is that there's not really that much difference. To the point where
I'm pretty sure we were actually funding jihadis. I'm pretty sure we were.
What it was, I mean, well, basically, I think it might have been a lack of cultural understanding of the region and being taken advantage of because they're fucking stupid. Because anyone can turn up and say, "Hey, I'm actually for a free secular cereal." Yeah, okay, great. And they units of them defect and disappear. And because ISIS had increased the amount of pay they were giving to their soldiers or whatever, then they just defect. And so Obama was really reluctant to actually arm anyone who could have been considered maybe something credible and worthwhile to support. He was really reluctant to arm them because he was just expecting it to go straight to the jihadis, which a lot of it did. Yeah, exactly. So it's not that we were funding ISIS. It's just the Americans are idiots when they're in the field,
Well, in any case, we'll move on from this
to learn the other culture, I guess.
Yeah, that's true, but we haven't learned yet, so I don't think we're ever going to learn.
I bet we're
moving on to
what taquilla was.
No, probably not. We're moving on to, as we talk about this issue of Donald Drumpf, we need to understand that Hillary still has a chance. She still has a chance, baby. 2020, she's coming back. She has a chance. She's not done with yet.
Honestly, I'm still holding on to Ron Paul, man. I liked Ron Paul. You didn't.
I think he might be done, but Hillary's not. Hillary's not done. She's coming back.
Oh god,
she's gonna win it all this time.
On 2020.
So this article on Huffington Post, we might just read through it because it's so fucking unreal that I read through it earlier today, and I read it, and I was like, is this like an Onion article? Like, what is this? But no, it's a real legit article, and I'm going to start reading it.
Amazing. That first line is amazing. Oh god, that's funny.
But they don't care. That's the thing. It is true. She's actively less popular than Donald Trump after the election, which is normally the opposite case when there is a very I saw another article on it where it's one of the only times in a presidential election where an unpopular president or a marginally popular president was elected, where the other candidate did not become more popular afterwards because they stayed in politics, which she has been. After Trump got elected, she saw a bump. It was like 5% up in the polls. And then she came out of the woodwork and started giving speeches and shit again.
And
she dropped 10 points. They dropped 10 points. And it's like, this is literally insane. Every time she speaks, she becomes less popular. Yeah, she's the only candidate I have ever heard of like that.
No, she's just like Theresa May. She doesn't stand for anything. And so now that no one's backing, now that she lost, what's the point in backing her?
Well, no, even there with Theresa May, I would say that based on what I know about her, and obviously you would know more than I would, but what I know about her says that she's in large part vacuous, but also kind of incompetent. She kind of has a history of incompetence.
Yeah, I'm not actually an expert on her history, but she's definitely vacuous.
But with Hillary Clinton, Hillary Clinton does stand for things. She does stand for things, but they're all awful things.
Yeah, no. Theresa May is basically the same. Like when they made their manifesto, apparently her and a group of close advisors had worked on it and not shown other people in the party, and then they released it, and it was an abortion. It was an absolute
I
abortion.
remember.
I mean, there's stuff like fox hunting and all this, just so much, like cutting school like lunches and pensions and all this sort of shit. And it's like, what are you fucking doing? You're going up against a man whose only argument is a moral argument, and you decided that killing foxes and old people and starving kids is the platform you want to run on. The things she was standing for were just awful, and these were the things that were widely reported. There was the dementia tax and stuff like this. Fucking hell, you got that attached to your name, Theresa.
It's not surprising they did so bad.
It's amazing that they fucking won. They are just incompetent, but they exactly the same as Hillary. They're just bad, just not good. It's just like Christ.
Well, with Hillary, I would say that it's like you're definitely right in terms of the comparison of the vacuousness, especially in the campaigning and the speeches and that.
They're not likable. They don't know how to make people like them.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. But also there's the fact that with Hillary Clinton, as opposed to somebody like Theresa May, Hillary Clinton has decades of baggage that she drags along with her.
And way more fame. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone knows it. Everyone can see right through it, like what she actually stands for, what she actually believes, how cynical she is.
Yeah, WikiLeaks. I mean, she acknowledged herself that WikiLeaks did her in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Okay, so let's continue with this article.
Yeah.
So Hillary Clinton is even less popular now than she was running for president. Just 39% of Americans view Clinton favorably, according to Bloomberg national poll. And again, Bloomberg is no friend of fucking Trump. Yeah. Conducted last week and released on Monday. A year ago, when Clinton was a presumptive Democratic nominee, her favorability was at 43%. And by the way, after Obama won, his favorability was at like 80-something%. Just keep that in mind. The former Secretary of State is viewed slightly more negatively than President Donald Trump. And again, who has historically low poll numbers for a president this early in his administration. Keep in mind that they've been literally saying that this guy is a foreign operative since before he even got to the White House. Before he was even president, they were saying that this guy's a foreign operative.
Before that, they were saying worse. Honestly.
Right, they were calling him a fucking rapist. There was all that shit about him being a rapist.
Exactly. Being a foreign operative is the least bad thing they've called him so far.
And despite that, Hillary Clinton is still less popular than him. More people dislike her than him.
Incredible. Great job, Hillary. Oh, the Democratic Party is so fucking stupid. It's just enthralled to power.
I have a video that I want to work on where it is basically like, it is just like article after article after article after article of just like, and I want to try to do it in a sequence. So I'm going to have to judge it where I just bring up an article and it starts off not that bad and it just gets worse and worse and worse because they're so fucking insane. They have completely lost their minds, and they believe
they're institutional now. They've become like fully institutionalized to the point where they think only power gives legitimacy. And so, if it doesn't matter what you're saying, if you're not above them, they're not going to listen to you. Yeah. And this is and that's how you get Donald Trump. I mean, they could have run anyone but Hillary. Yeah, like just anyone but Hillary. But Hillary just had all of the baggage, all of it. And it was it's crazy.
It's just, it really is amazing if you look at it because
Bernie's the most popular politician in the country at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, Bernie's actually still substantially more popular than anybody else in the entire country.
Bernie's fan clubs work overtime. Bernie would have won. Yeah. And it's working,
Yeah, and it's amazing too because I think that I'm hoping that in the next the midterms, my hope is that the Democratic Party will change to some degree, and I think that if they wise up, will realize that if we make some concessions, the person we can push would be Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, could beat Trump if she was put out there.
It's fucking awesome
because she has all of the.
I haven't read anything bad from her. I've been following her on Twitter for ages.
I've seen I've compared her. I've seen comparisons between. I've read a few articles on her when they compared her to my senator, Kirsten Gillibrand, and there's a lot more actual credibility in terms of being a politician or a statesman with Tulsi Gabbard than there is someone with Kirsten Gillibrand. And so I think they're looking.
So people know, like, she's always on the side of like the system. You know, when it came to the Syria thing, she was concerned that the authority of the Senate was being bypassed and things like this.
Yeah,
so, important sort of civic concerns.
Yes,
something that she exemplifies, and she
doesn't. And as far as I know, she doesn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she's a veteran. She's been on the right side of every vote, as far as I can tell. You know, like the major ones, like the Iraq War, all that sort of thing. You know, she's been on the right side of all of those, and so well, honestly,
she has the brilliance about her, as far as I know anything about her, is that she is in many ways like Bernie in that she is in many ways progressive and also civically minded. So there's a bit of that separation there, but she actually isn't an ideologue, unlike Bernie, who I do think is in part an ideologue.
Undoubtedly. But yeah, she's not an ideologue. She seems to be entirely lucid, and well, I mean, like this is why I think the civic concern is important, because that is something that you genuinely have to be worried about in the United States at the moment. The partisanship is just, I mean, you know, it's always been partisan, but like at this point, like the sides won't even give each other. And
the thing is, though, is that I don't think Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, we don't really know her until she actually acts, but I don't think that she would have done and I have to try to see if I can find that moment in this, but one of the characteristics of why I think Hillary Clinton lost was for a multitude of reasons, but one of the big moments was that deplorables moment.
Oh, yeah.
Where she says, you know,
it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, where, you know, the people that like Donald Trump are racist and sexist, and she goes on and on and on, and she just writes them all off and says that they're all irredeemable and the rest. And I don't really think that she even understands, and I don't think she still does, how much damage that did to her campaign. And the Democrats believe that, like, as it relates to the working class, they can just be written off. Fuck them. That's their attitude. And they don't get it. Like, they don't understand that, like, statistically, they don't have the numbers, and the numbers that they do have in all the minority demographics only work in certain states, and they're now faltering. They're now losing those numbers. They lost every key demographic under.
Yeah, and they don't seem to understand it's this class elitism that's causing this.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's a strategy. Like, there was a major moment, and it was on a Sunday show with Chuck Schumer, who's now the head of the minorities, the Senate Minority Leader. So that's how you know that, like, they haven't changed, because this is the guy that had the strategy that, and Jimmy Dore plays this all the time, where he was on television and said that the strategy going forward for the Democratic Party was to pursue upper class liberal Republicans. That was their new demographic that they were going to pursue, who are largely white. And guess what? They lost more white votes. They gained 0 more white voters in the last election. So that strategy was a colossal fucking failure. And you know what they did? They gave him Senate Minority Leader. That same guy that strategized that.
It's like they don't want to win. It's like they want the ideology to win. They don't care about the victory.
Well, what's the ideology even outside of identity politics, which they only seem to have like a cursory interest in to gain donor money? What is it other than like neoliberal corporatist?
No. I think it's lots of ideologies in the left that are actually competing for the same goal, and that's to be the leader of the left. And they are all. I mean, but they're really aggressive. You know, like I don't see like Republicans, like, you know, I don't see Ben Shapiro going at it with Gary Johnson. You know, they're kind
right. Right. I would say, though, that there's a decent amount of separation between their different worldviews, that they don't really necessarily clash in the same way that the left would. But I would say that there is
on this like really aggressive like climb for moral purity, and like it's crazy. I see it with like the socialists, like, don't accuse me of being a tanky and stuff like this. Holy shit, dude. They actually take offense to this, and they're kind of like all trying to climb this moral hill that they make smaller and smaller every time they try to climb it. And it's like some sort of giant purity spiral. That's what the left has turned into at this point. I don't think any of them are actually concerned with actually fixing problems. You know?
Well, that I would agree with. I would agree that they're not interested in fixing problems. But I would say that one of the competing angles in this is the corporatists that are within the Democratic Party, and I don't think they actually are ideologues. I think if they are ideologues, it's for something like neoliberalism, corporatism, neoconservatism. You know, the remnants of that. They've fully embraced all of that. But
well, what I think that is, what I think the sort of the neoliberal mindset is. Did you watch that guy who talked about the skeptic community getting cucked and how we were all going to go to MTV?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
That guy is the perfect. I think that's the corporate mindset laid bare. Everyone always follows their direct financial interests, no matter what, in every circumstance. I mean, I was just sat there thinking, Jesus, I can't believe he actually thinks I would even entertain having a job at MTV. Like, I mean, he thinks that I would do that, and I'm thinking, wow, but because in his mind that would be my most direct financial interest, and I really would. I don't care about my most direct financial interest. You know, I'm much more concerned with not being associated with MTV. But
yeah. Well, there definitely are those people around.
But I think that's the sort of corporate Democrat mindset. I think maybe not necessarily so pronounced as that guy. That guy seems like to be.
No, but I would say that he is right to some degree, at least with a portion of him, is that as it's been described in the leaked emails, that they are looking for their golden parachute once one of their own takes power.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's no truth to anything that he was saying. I'm just saying I don't think his analysis was as informed as it could have been. It's a bit last paradigm, but I think it tells you about their mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how they view the world, and so. Like the corporate Democrats, they don't give a shit about progressivism, but they give a shit that other people give a shit about progressivism.
Exactly.
It's just, I mean, it literally, if it was fascism, they'd be right, okay, great. Fasci propaganda on every Coca-Cola bottle. It's already fucking red. Yeah. We can just put the swastika on it and we're done.
Did you probably didn't see it because I said it in one of my streams, but you know that website Mike?
Yeah, I do know, yeah.
Did I tell you, or did you see that entire website is one giant AstroTurf?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me at all.
It was created in part through the Obama administration to push Obamacare to young people. That's where they got their money from. I'm not even joking. Like Obama, literally, some people within the Obama administration, this is admitted by them.
Really?
They took them around and shopped around with a bunch of investors and like big money people, and they just poured money into the company, and then that's where it came from, and that's why it exists.
Well, I suppose I'd like to see the sources on that, but you can show me afterwards. Because that's a very interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Thing. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, it's I got them all somewhere saved, and it was a video that I wanted to do because if you look more into it, and I'm sure it's hardly the only company that's like that, but it really is amazing how it was like this budding, non-existent website, and then all of a sudden they got this deal with the Obama administration to push Obamacare, and then they land an interview with Obama himself. They do an interview. The guy that owns the website did the interview, and then out of that they spring into existence. And that was one of the things. They shopped around with big investors that were very likely, and I can't say this for certain, but they were associated with the Obama administration and the Democratic Party, but are likely strong investors donors within the Democratic Party. And that's where Mike came from. And they're corporatists. Like, they push all the identity politics bullshit. But if you look at all the corporatist bills, TPP, Obamacare, every corporatist bill that's come to the floor, everything that's been passed by the Obama administration, they back it to the hilt every single time.
Yeah, I always find it quite amusing to see like people like. Do you know who Lee Camp is?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been following him for a long time, and I really liked his sort of anti-corporatist stuff. And I was really disappointed to see him getting on the identity politics bandwagon. But I love watching him in fury at when someone like the Huffington Post or something like that will post something that is effectively along the corporatist agenda, and he's just like, "Why are you doing this?" Like,
well, that's the thing. He doesn't get it.
Oh no, he doesn't get it at all. But he's not like woke. But he's you can see that he sees some of the extremity of the problem coming out. You can see
he's one of the good-natured progressives.
Yeah, he's a useful idiot.
Yeah. Anyways, let's finish this up. Let me see. That puts Clinton at odds with losing every presidential candidate since 1990. That's what I meant. She's the least popular since then. Like it's unbelievable that that's the case. Except for Clinton, the defeated candidate saw an increased favorable ratings after election day, according to Gallup poll. Yeah, there it is. There's the poll. It's literally something that happens with every election except with her. That they get more favorable because then you become the opposition party, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah. Everyone loves an underdog, Hillary, but you were never the underdog.
Yeah.
Even in losing, you're not the underdog. That's the thing. He's the president, and you're still not the underdog.
Yeah. It really is something shocking. But anyways, the Bloomberg poll didn't get into reasons for Clinton's decline in favorability. But there is, of course, one thing that sets her apart from the pack of failed candidates. Clinton is a woman.
She's also a Clinton. That's way more important. She's also a Clinton. That's way more important.
No. Wrong. If it was Bill Clinton, he would have won. Yeah. But it's because she's a woman.
To be fair, he probably would have won.
Probably, because he's a lot more likable, even though he's a piece of shit.
He's way more likable.
In follow-up interviews, Bloomberg poll respondents said their negative feelings about Clinton had nothing to do with her loss. Instead, they emphasize how unlikable they consider Clinton, echoing the opinions of many voters during the 2016 election. See, here's the problem, though. They can't help but actually putting the truth in this bullshit article, even though they flat out say what the reason is. Clinton is a woman, but they're like, no, she's actually pretty fucking unlikable.
I just love how everyone they happen to interview is a sexist. Like they're so
even though they never
sexist.
Even though they never say it's because she's a woman.
No,
they just know.
Yeah, everyone's like she's really corrupt. I just don't like her. It's because she's a woman.
She did not feel authentic or genuine to me. Chris Lindinger, 29, insurance agent from Fountain Valley, California, told Bloomberg she was hard to like.
Well, now who's a misogynist now, Chris?
Yeah. Chris.
You've been stamped, Chris.
You got to get run out of California.
Clinton's a woman from exactly Fountain Valley. I mean, how many Chris Lenningers can be there, Chris?
Yeah, find him.
Misogynist. No, don't find it for fuck's sake.
There's neither an unusual.
Like what? Why do you have to give me fucking? He's an insurance agent from Fountain Valley, California, and he didn't like her, and she's a woman, therefore misogyny. Why give that much information?
No, we haven't gotten to it yet. Just wait. Just
insurance. There's neither insurance agent or something like that. Whatever. Sorry, go on.
There's neither an unusual nor surprising. That's neither an unusual or surprising sentiment. Women with strong ambitions and opinions typically take a likability hit. Colin Armiman, director of Harvard Business School Gender Initiative, told HuffPost, just from Harvard. That's how you know it's serious.
Why the fuck would you ask someone from the school's Gender Initiative? I mean,
okay, are you trying to say that a strong, ambitious woman from Harvard doesn't know what she's talking about, Sargon? You need to shut the fuck up.
Seriously though, you go to a gender studies like laboratory or whatever they call them, and you say, hey, this woman just lost an election. Why do you think that was? What fucking answer do you expect to get? Sexism.
Oh, I know. It's like you just have like one. You have like one beta guy there, and you just like, it may have been because if you look at the WikiLeaks emails, and everyone just goes, they're like, and they just throw them the fuck out. The guy gets thrown the fuck out of the room.
Seriously though, I mean, what other argument could they possibly make? They were like, well, it must have been structuralized oppression of women. And
yes,
probably a great deal amount of internalized misogyny on Clinton's part.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I put it on Skype to you earlier. I put a thing out there where it was like, it was somebody that Howard Dean retweeted, or it was my mayor. I don't remember which, but they were like, yeah, she took on the patriarchy and lost. And it's like, exactly. If there is a patriarchy, she is like at the head of it.
Yeah,
she's the bulwark of the patriarchy.
She was. So then this is the thing.
Vanguard.
It's just a lens that gives you absolutely no relevant information about the individual you're talking about. Like, being a woman tells me nothing about Hillary Clinton. WikiLeaks tells me a lot about Hillary Clinton, and I don't blame other women for being Hillary Clinton being terrible. It's not your fault, women.
Okay, a mountain of research on women leaders has found that the idea of a powerful woman runs counter to most people's expectations for what is considered feminine, quiet, supportive, nurturing, and definitely not ambitious.
Okay.
So what we need to do is format every mind in our society to accept Hillary Clinton. That's what the answer is.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? They seem to think that people can't like women who are not feminine. You know, I quite like Brienne of Tarth. I quite respect Margaret Thatcher, even if I didn't really agree with everything she did.
There's never been a woman leader. That has never occurred. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not a thing.
I wouldn't consider them feminine, but that doesn't mean they're not respectable. And it's, you know, like, I know I'm going to get loads of angry socialists.
Well, no, it's like, would you consider a statesman to be feminine?
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, I kind of expect them to be a bit more like, I don't know, objective. Being feminine seems to be a lot more subjective. The same with being masculine. You know, I would expect them to be, you know.
Well, again, it's just the assumption that, like, you know, every quality of femininity is perceived to be evil and every aspect of masculinity is perceived to be good. It's like, okay, well, when people talk about rapists, who do you think they're regarding?
Well, yeah.
Who do you think they're talking about? All those females enveloping men all over the world? I don't think so.
That's not a crime here, actually. So.
Oh, well, there you go. So there's the example proof.
Rape in this country. I'm pretty certain that's true. I'll check with an MRA, but I'm pretty certain that's true.
Okay. Maybe not. I know that it is. We do have or what is it? Yes means yes in New York, which means you have to. You're supposed to.
I think ours are. I tell you one thing that is actually really annoying in Britain, which the feminists will do absolutely nothing to remedy, is the remarkably patriarchal tone of our judges and legal system.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievably infuriating seeing what some women get off with in this country. It's like you would never do that for a man. You would never do that. You know, the woman, you know, can be the instigator and she'll get incredibly lenient sentences if she gets a sentence at all. And it's just like, you know, you know, she can be the one who's committed the crime. And it's just like, it's just infuriating. And
I don't know.
Feminists never complain about this. They never complain about how patronizing it is that women are being treated.
No, because they don't care, because that's institutional power on their side. It's all power politics to them. It's not about any equality or anything else. It's about power politics. That's how they see everything.
It just helps them so they don't say a fucking word.
Yes. Yeah, but in any case, move on from there. The disconnect puts female leaders in what is known as the double bind. Strong bosses are penalized for not acting like women, and those who lean the other way and try to display more characteristically female traits are penalized for being weak leaders. Well, that's true in terms of if you are more characteristically female and you're, you know, a fainting, you know, pussy, in which case, I mean, you could just, when Bernie Sanders got cucked on stage by a woman, I don't know if you would necessarily characterize that as feminine, but I would characterize it as being a pussy. And he lost a lot of credibility with people for that.
But the thing is, I mean, they were acting like cunts as well. So, I mean, they get penalized for not acting like women, sure. But most female bosses don't act like the women who stole Bernie's mic acted. And so I don't think penalize is the right term for them. They're not acting feminine, you know, necessarily, well, at all, really. When they're acting in a professional capacity, but you don't want them to. It would be weird if they were. You'd be like, no.
Well, that's the thing. Is that like the idea of a powerful woman? They're not supposed to be a powerful woman. They're supposed to be a boss. Yeah, they're supposed to be someone who's managing employees.
Yeah. We're not going on a fucking date, you know. Like, don't worry about your femininity.
Gender shouldn't come into play, and unfortunately, this is the issue of having on a lens and being unable to see anything but, you know, the world how it exists through that lens. But in the case of, like, I can rattle off a number of examples that I've mentioned in the past. Like my mother's boss is a woman, and she's like a very well-paid, high-class lawyer who's a fucking super workaholic and very intelligent, but not very charismatic in terms of, she's very blunt. She's very direct. And the thing is that because of that, a lot of people dislike her. Whereas the previous guy that ran the place was a guy who owns the company still, but it's very old. Whereas he was the same way, but also extremely charismatic. So he could fire you, but come up with a good way to let you go. It's like, well, you know, thanks anyways. And you could walk out of the office feeling better about that. Well, I may have lost my job, but maybe this is me pursuing new opportunities. Whereas with her, she would just let you go. And the difference is not male, female, it's charisma.
Yeah, it's just being a dick and not being a dick. But carry on with this, because I just read ahead a bit. And
okay.
It gets good. Let's go.
Clinton's probably the best known example of this phenomenon. She's been criticized for being too loud, but also smiling too much. Yeah,
right. I love that.
Creepy smile.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the end of the feminist gender lens. Now it goes back to reality.
Okay. In the past, Clinton's favorability ratings tended to go up when she was not actively running for office. What does that tell you?
It's amazing.
God.
When people don't hear from Hillary Clinton, they think, yeah, she's all right.
In December 2012, when she was Secretary of State, 70% of Americans viewed Clinton positively, according to Bloomberg. And but that was before all of her fuck-ups, if you know anything about her.
Yeah, 2012 was a long time ago for Hillary Clinton.
I mean, it got so bad that she was going up against Obama, and that was the leaks that were coming out from the White House, is that Obama was super pissed because he was literally telling her to do things and she wasn't listening. And that's why John Kerry eventually came in, is because literally she just wouldn't listen.
Didn't know that.
But since her loss in November, Clinton has stayed in the public eye and has continued to voice her opinions. That's likely stoked anxiety and discomfort among Americans. Ammerman said.
I love it. Just Hillary Clinton giving her opinions is causing people anxiety and discomfort.
Yeah.
Just like Hillary. Well,
that's one of the things, is that I have to go and try to find the speech. But and they mentioned in this later on where the second she came out of the woods.
Yeah.
And she sat down for a speech. They asked her, did you make any mistakes? What happened with the campaign? What happened? Did you fuck up? What happened? She literally blamed everyone but herself.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the entire fucking
There are memes. I saw a meme from Fox News that was actually a good meme. And it was just a list of people Hillary had blamed, basically, in a big infographic. And it's like, holy shit. Hillary, it's you. Everyone can see it's fucking you.
She blamed Obama. She blamed the DNC. She blamed people within the DNC. She blamed former members of the administration. She blamed other Democrats that didn't endorse her quick enough, as her own words.
I've got a link here. Hang on.
Yeah, well,
here's a list of everyone and everything that Hillary blamed.
Are you gonna post it in chat or in the?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, I'll post it in chat. Let me open it up.
The FBI, James Comey, the Russians, Vladimir Putin, anti-American forces, low information voters, everyone who assumed she'd win, bad polling numbers. Stupid thing to blame. Obama for winning 2 terms, people wanting change, misogynists, suburban women, the New York Times, television executives, cable news, Netflix. Democrats not making the right documentaries. Facebook, Twitter, WikiLeaks, fake news, content farms in Macedonia, the Republican Party, and the Democratic Party.
I remember that one, the Macedonian one. I remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
Did she say hackers? Because that was another one.
Hackers doesn't actually appear to be on there. But this is
that was another one she blamed in that one interview. Was she went on to talk about hackers from Macedonia?
Right. Okay. I thought that was. I think that's probably contained within WikiLeaks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an amazing list of people who aren't you, Hillary.
Yeah. I think she even did she say her own staffers on that? Because that was another one she blamed. Was her own staffers?
Well, she blamed the Democratic Party.
All right. Well, we'll just move on.
Just fucking everyone. Yeah, so I can.
Yeah, everyone but her. That's fine.
Yeah.
We understand. Don't want to go to that yet. So let's continue on. Let's see here. Clinton opened up about why she thinks she lost to Trump in an interview in April. This is what I'm talking about. New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof, and again in May, an interview with CNN's Christina Amanpour. Actually, that's the one I'm talking about at a conference. Clinton said she took personal responsibility for her defeat, but also cited the last-minute announcement of then FBI Director James Comey of a reopened investigation in her emails as a decisive factor in Trump's victory. She was not the only one who cited Comey's letter as a potential October surprise leading to her loss. No, people were screaming that until after she lost. And then they continued, and then it evolved from that into Russia hacked the United States. or hack the minds.
Interesting
However you
how
want
they
to say
left
it.
out the she gave 2 live interviews on stages where she said WikiLeaks
Yeah.
did it, and
Yeah.
everyone in the room was just sitting nodding, yeah, WikiLeaks is terrible. What? WikiLeaks tells you what she really thinks.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, is that like it literally is like them not wanting to get into the substance and just admitting freely that, you know, that what they provided was not. Somebody went on television and alleged that it was false, and I think what's his face at WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, threatened to sue him for defamation, and he just flat out said that what they published was false, and he threatened to sue him over it, I believe. And it's like, it's because they have a 100% track record. They've never published something that's been false, and all they did was publish information from Hillary Clinton's campaign to show you what they actually believed, and every single bit of it was fucking awful, including them strategizing internally how to go after Bernie Sanders and to fuck him out of the election.
Yeah. Defame him as an atheist.
Yeah, in the South to cost him votes.
I know.
And it was one of the several factors that showed you, including the shit from, I would say one of the big things was the leak about her receiving the questions ahead of time from what was her name? Donna Brazile, yeah. That was another one that I think did her major damage, because it showed you that she had a direct connection to the media, and I doubt it was just her.
There was undoubtedly some sort of, like, you know, insider thing going on previously as well, because she became head of the DNC chair. Or lost it to Herman Cain or something.
Right, yeah. After she lost the job, she immediately became chair of the Democratic Party.
It was weird. I'd have to look it up to figure it, out again, but it was just weird. So,
yeah, after Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned in fucking not despair. What's the word?
Disgrace.
Disgrace. Yes, she resigned in disgrace because she also was confronted with the fact that she was colluding within the party for Clinton. So she resigned. Immediately, Clinton hired her to become a staffer, and then Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was already under fire for those allegations, became the chair of the Democratic Party. So, I mean, nothing has changed. It's just shuffling chairs with all the same people.
Yeah, and all the same connections. And I mean, leaking her questions, Jesus fucking Christ, you know?
Yeah. And she was proud of it too. She never apologized either. The other thing is that I forgot to mention it, but this article, the reason why, let me get it back on screen, from the New York Times, the reason why I linked this is that this was, if I didn't already say it, and I don't think I did, this was forcefully put on Twitter as a trend, made this article trend. And this is just another frivolous dog shit article farted out by some cocksucker writing for the New York Times. And this just goes to show you, like, how coincidental does it have to be that literally a couple hours after this bullshit piece comes out, it's trending forced on Twitter. You're telling me there wasn't an email sent beforehand, before this article went out?
Look at the very first paragraph there. I have finally found something about Trump to take comfort in. His absolute ineptitude at legislative advancement. That's small comfort, and it's because he's got the entire system fighting him. You know, you guys have been non-stop. He's still got a fucking campaign. You know, everyone complains about the amount of golf he plays, but fuck me, man, I bet he needs the break. You know, I would probably have to play that much fucking golf, and I hate golf. it's like fucking, they are just constant. 80% of 88%, I think it was.
Is negative coverage.
Negative coverage. It was in one of videos I did the other day.
I bet you the only percent in which they actually gave him positive coverage, and this got coverage itself because it was so remarkable, was when he did that move in Syria where he attacked that base.
That was the one thing he got real backlash from. But even then, I think it was actually a better.
No. He got backlash from his own people.
The media
loved it.
Oh yeah, sorry, I misheard you. Yeah, the media was sucking his dick, saying, "Oh, now he's acting presidential."
Yes. And fucking, what's his face? The guy from NBC talking about how beautiful the missiles were. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, neoconservatism is actually a religion.
Yeah, they have them like flying off in the background, all sexy and stuff. It's like, whoa, isn't this amazing? Look at this. It's like, oh shit, man. This is weird, creepy military.
Neocons.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking his neocons. Jesus.
Anyways, Yet the comments were met with rage and disbelief from certain corners, writes Rebecca Tristier in New York Magazine. Here's how Giersch Kurtzman put it in the Daily News. Hey, Hillary Clinton, shut the fuck up and go away already. I like Mr. Kuntzman here. Yeah. Mr. Kuntzman is actually pretty fucking right on.
Yeah, Mr. Kuntzman is absolutely on the money, and that's exactly how I would have phrased it. Good job, dude.
There he is. Right.
First line as well.
Shut the fuck up. Go away already. And he voted for her. Jesus. Wow. That's great.
That is fucking fantastic.
Because he's great.
Yeah.
That's a fucking funny article here. Wow. Is this just one long fucking just shit on her?
Yes.
I think it is. Dude!
You can't be a prostitute on Wall Street, they're going to charge on Main Street. Fucking hell. I'm looking this guy up.
Damn, dude. I'll link you this. God damn, this is scathing.
Jesus, what a legend. I can't believe I missed this.
God damn. I'm going to keep this out. Maybe we'll go through it. We'll go through it in a second here after we finish this up. Anyways, New York Times
3,000 followers on Twitter. What a legend.
Well, that's what happens when you're like a small-time journo.
Yeah.
Especially when you... I mean, I'm sure if he was out there like Luis Mensch tweeting dumb shit, he'd have like 1 million followers.
Yeah. He absolutely... Sorry, no.
Anyways, New York Times politics reporter Glenn Thrush tweeted, "Mea culpa, not so much." Countless others rage tweeted at Clinton the audacity of her trying to analyze her loss. Ammerman said there was an element of gendered backlash in the response, of course. Clinton's willingness to be vocal about being ambitious and wanting to win did little to endear her to the Americans already uncomfortable with a woman audacious enough to want to be president.
Fucking hell. Just
it keeps going. It's not hard to see the sexism in the response, though certainly many of these men aren't aware of it. Just all men. All of them are men.
Secret sexism found by the sexism inquisitors. Fucking thank God.
Yeah.
No one realized we were sinning. If you didn't come along and tell us, we wouldn't no idea.
Yeah. Well, they can see in your mind, so be aware of that.
It's religious. That's fucking why. We know there's sin here somewhere. We'll find it.
Surprise, it's everywhere and in everything.
Exactly. Everything you do is sexist, in fact. There we go, job done.
The idea that she shouldn't mention the Comey letter when the entire nation and the most respected statisticians are considering it impacts is so... Dude, every single fucking statistician was wrong. Every single fucking one. I didn't see one poll that said Trump was going to win. No. Not one. Fucking Huffington Post had her at 99% chance at winning. So fuck the statisticians. They're all bullshit.
They were so unbelievably wrong. It's just like...
Fucking what's his face balding cocksucker at 538? That guy was taken so seriously for so long, and he has zero credibility. This was yet another election where he was one of the last fucking people to actually admit, like, yeah, Trump's gonna win. And it was like 5 seconds before he fucking won. Before the last state came in, they published that. And he's supposed to be somebody that people should take seriously.
Yeah, and they've been wrong on a lot of things. And do you remember the sigh of relief blown out with Geert Wilders not winning? And it was like, he couldn't win. I mean, there just wasn't a path to victory, and they were all sat there thinking, "Shit, he's going to win." They were fucking. But again, just to show they don't know what's going on. You know, they don't really understand the sort of forces that are arraying against them. And that shows every time, like the ADL makes a fucking "we hate this" meme this week. You know, this meme is a white supremacist meme this week. It's like, okay, that's great, ADL. You fucking crazy old grandpa. I don't care.
Yeah, I just think that unfortunately these people, and it includes, I don't need to go off on a tangent, but that includes Sam Harris. Sam Harris actually has Trump derangement syndrome. It's nowhere near as bad as other people, but he has it. It's like, again, I kind of want to pat the guy on the shoulder and say, listen, dude, like you got to understand that you're bourgeois as shit, and I think that might be your problem. Like, I love you, bro. I really do. But you
He
are
really
bourgeois
is.
as shit.
I find it incredible that he's just got like this. I don't think it's to me necessarily. I think it's to Mike Cernovich and people like him. But like, why wouldn't you just engage them? I mean, you can see the numbers. One of the things you're getting depressed about is their numbers. He doesn't need you to be famous. He's already famous.
Right.
So why don't you just engage him and try and draw away some of his support?
I would say that there definitely is fear there.
Yeah.
Like there is some fear that he doesn't want to engage with somebody that he thinks could ultimately persuade a portion of his audience, or do whatever, one up him essentially, because Sam Harris's whole thing is being like an untouchable, intellectual. So if he loses that, then he's got fucking nothing. But the thing is too, even if he had a debate with somebody like Cernovich and lost to whatever degree, it wouldn't mean all of a sudden I'm going to run out and suck Cernovich's dick. I would still like Sam Harris over him.
Yeah, obviously. But I think that what he's worried about is the fact that what Sam Harris would consider conditions of defeat, Cernovich won't. And so, he says, well, this thing might not have been true. And Cernovich just shrug. I don't care about that. What I care about is, defeating the left in the culture war, or whatever it is his particular goal is. But I think that's a lot closer than, what Sam Harris would be looking for.
Right.
And so, like, the things Sam Harris would be using to attack him wouldn't be vectors of attack. He wouldn't be able to just, Sam was just shrug, I guess, okay, so what? Or something like that. And so Sam Harris would effectively lose the debate because he had no way of winning.
That's true. I'd agree with that.
Cernovich is going to out-debate him on science or religion or something like that. It's just that he's not going to be able to persuade Cernovich to stop doing what he's doing because Cernovich is more successful.
Yeah. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Statisticians. If she were a man, would she be allowed to mention it? As a woman, I am offended by the double standards applied here. Everyone shrieks that Hillary was a bad candidate. But was Trump a good candidate? No, that's the point. That's the point. Trump was a bad candidate, but Hillary was even worse. God, what is wrong with these people?
I love the what about it, yeah, but what about Trump? What
about him? He won.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking retard. What about Trump? Yeah, you mean the president. That's who you mean. President Donald J. Trump. That retard, right? What a terrible candidate he was.
It's so entitled as well. It just strikes me as like, some like, princess, yeah, but what about Trump? So what? That's not an argument as to why Hillary isn't bad.
No, I mean, it like, does it? What does that mean? Yeah, it actually does mean she is fucking bad. She lost to somebody that like 10 years ago was on WWE clotheslining fucking Mr. McMahon. Okay, and now he's a fucking president. What does it say about Hillary Clinton? So you fucking idiots.
Yeah, but I just love it. Like, it's like we say, right, okay, Hillary's a bad candidate, and your job is to either, just disprove that, or just, come back with a contradictory claim that no, she's a good candidate and prove that's true. We can, weigh the evidence. Saying, yeah, but what about Donald Trump isn't a refutation of either of those positions. It's nothing to do with it. It's not an argument, basically. It's just, God, it's so fucking frustrating. These people are such idiots. They don't see this. It's all about delegitimization. That's the thing, right? Yeah. They just want to not have to talk to you. Because if they don't have to talk to you, then they don't have to engage with your argument. And so the first thing they do is go for, like, well, what about Donald Trump? What about Donald Trump? Well, what about this about you? Are you a cis white male? So what if I was? It's not going to make what I'm saying less true if it's true. And that's the whole platform of identity politics in the left, delegitimization. Don't resolve anything. And it's so fucking ideological.
We're going to have to continue. You could argue that we live in a highly polarized time, you think? And perhaps that's why public opinion has not bounced back in Clinton's favor. And I don't think it ever fucking will. Unless Donald Trump could go out, he could literally have that moment on camera where it's like he films it on it goes live on every major network, and he's behind the desk in the Oval Office, and he's, they have the camera on him, and he's got the American flag behind him, and he has the White House lawn behind him and all that shit. And he's very stern looking. He could jump up on the desk and take a shit on the fucking desk, and he would still be more popular than Hillary
Well,
Clinton.
I was just thinking, right, Donald Trump, he sat there behind the desk, all presidential, and then the camera starts pulling back, and just in front of him on their knees in orange boiler suits of the Democrat Party, Donald Trump gives a speech and executes each and every one of them, and he would still be more popular.
He'd probably go up in the polls. Like, you say that last night? Trump shot a bunch of fucking libtards, man. Shit, that was badass. I didn't realize that he was that kind of a badass. He'd go up in the polls.
Oh God. Say, hey, look, his presidency isn't over yet, so we probably shouldn't speak too soon.
Oh my God, this shit.
It's so ridiculous.
Was I even?
It's like, who knows? Like, man, 2017 has been just insane. People doing insane things, and not even necessarily that, just strange things happening.
Oh,
you know? The internet's having a disturbing effect on real life.
Jake Tupper, whatever the fuck is
called out Linda Sarsour,
yeah, Linda Sarsour, and now it's like a shit fit between two sides, and it's like, man, that is different.
She called him alt-right. CNN anchor Jake Tapper.
And there's actually a lot of fucking people coming to his defense.
Get Cernovich on. Get Richard Spencer on to talk about his white identity.
Yeah, well, that was what I was reading. I was reading Milo's book that just came out earlier today, and that was one of the things where he has a part in the book where he talks about what he believes, and it's basically that he starts the book with a defense of himself not being a pedophile and the rest, and saying that he's not a white nationalist. And he said the way you can find that out is to ask any actual white nationalist whether they like me or not. And he quotes a few white nationalists in his book that say that they fucking hate him, that he's a I forget he's a fucking faggot kike, you know, whatever. Like, they literally go down the line.
I was saying a bit nicer than that, yeah.
Right. Well, that's what they quote. He quotes in the book. They call him like a something. I forget what it is. It's a something faggot kike. That's what they call him. Yeah. It's just like they don't like him
because he's a gay Jew, and they don't like gay Jews.
Anyway,
at all. Gay Jews are white genocide incarnate, mate.
Yeah. In fact, former President Barack Obama and Vice President Biden have both seen their favorabilities rise since November in Bloomberg's polling. That's not very surprising either.
No.
Especially with Biden, although he's kind of weird. But with at least Biden, he's weird, but people like the fact that he's weird.
Yeah.
And Obama's just naturally charismatic. So hardly surprising
at all, and especially in comparison to the turbulence of the Trump administration. Like under Obama, I mean, it was relatively calm. You know, the presidency and the press got along, and so people weren't outraged at the institutions, even while they were being robbed behind their backs.
No, I mean, when Barack Obama got elected, I mean, I don't really want to go on a tangent about it, but it was like you had half the country, more than half, I would probably be included in it, looking at him as this messianic figure that was coming in to save the country.
Oh, man, I was just like looking at it. I remember like when I was a lot younger, and I wasn't really involved in politics, but I was following what was going on. And like, I just remember thinking, wow, this is creepy, especially when they put up the statue of him in Indonesia. It's just like, what the fuck is this? He's a candidate. Like, he's not the chosen one.
Well, that's how a lot of people looked at him. They really did look at him as the chosen one. And I think that he really did in many ways coast into the office. Yeah. And, you know, that's unfortunate for John McCain, but I do think that the superior candidate won in that election.
Yeah, I agree.
But in any case, let's see, where were we? Most losing presidential candidates have had an easier time and a more generous reception from the public. Former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, who largely disappeared from view, thank Christ, after he lost the 2012 presidential election, saw a 4-point increase in favorability after his defeat. Senator John McCain, blah, blah, blah. They just already outlined this. We don't need to go through it again.
See, I don't think Romney was necessarily a bad guy. He just struck me as, you know, traditional Republican.
No, but he I would say that unfortunately he was pretty much an easy example to show you that there was a deep split within the Republican Party.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the people that like Trump now fucking hated Mitt Romney.
Yeah. And like with Jeb Bush, just corporate Republicans.
Yeah, there you go. And also part of the dynasty class.
Yeah.
You know, uber wealthy dynasty class.
Yeah, they are basically the aristocracy of the United States.
Yeah, we don't need to go through it. They just outline that with the one poll. To be sure, none of those men lost to Trump, an inexperienced and incompetent political leader feared and disliked by a bipartisan array of people. And as Tristayer pointed out, it's easy and natural to blame the whole Trump thing on Clinton, rather to dissect the myriad other reasons for his rise. I'm sure every single one of them are fucking part of the deplorable speech.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful to relitigate the election for a lot of people, though Trump certainly keeps trying. And no, it's Trump. Trump is definitely relitigating the election.
Yeah. What would he gain from doing that at all? You fucking idiots. He's the fucking president. He's got where he wants to be.
Going back. He's like Jack from Lost. We got to go back. That's all he does all the time. Yeah. It's not literally everyone other than him.
It's not literally, like the entire Democratic Party, all of the media, and probably a huge number of celebrities as well.
And a lot of Republicans.
Probably a bunch of Republicans, yeah. They're not all saying that he's a Putin puppet or anything, so don't worry about it. Fucking Donnie, just get on with your job, man. It's not like you're being consistently opposed everywhere by everyone. Fucking hell. Almost over. And the things I can't believe I have to defend Donald Trump still. You know, it's just like
it's just
so far off the reservation.
It's just going to keep going. Like the longer this goes on, they don't realize that this is a scorched earth tactic and it's not working.
Yeah, it's making their own people less popular than Trump. The media is less popular than Trump still.
Yes, as far as I know, in terms of the polling, they are still less trusted now than ever before. Yeah. It's still right around record levels of distrust by the public.
Neck with was it Congress? Was it?
Yeah. Well, that's that's unfavorability ratings, but I mean in terms of public trust in the media, it's at record lows.
Yeah, but it's been really, really fucking low for years now. But,
no, that's not actually true. I don't think that's actually true. I'd have to look, but it actually hasn't been that bad.
I think there was a survey in 2014 that put them at like 10% or something. Like, I mean, like good confidence, you know. Most people just kind of or worse with the media.
I'd have to look. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, we'd have to check. But I'm pretty sure it's been low for a long time.
And maybe that contributes to the feeling of wanting Clinton just disappear. I'm sure that's the only thing. Having lived through the 2000 election, I don't remember this level of vitriol and blame leveled at Al Gore, obviously, because it was much different as an election. Arguably as stiff and awkward as a presidential candidate as Clinton. Indeed, just 7 years after his loss to George W. Bush, at a time when the country was struggling under the administration, Gore won a Nobel Peace Prize. Well, obviously, because he got out of politics. He became an environmental activist and made money off of it. So,
weren't we supposed to be underwater at this point or something? Well, the ice cap's supposed to have melted in 2016 or something.
Well, I wouldn't really say that. Obviously, any of those predictions were wrong, but I wouldn't say that we're necessarily in a better place than we were.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm just, you know, I remember him apparently tweeting out something like, by 2016, the ice cap sort of melted, and they haven't melted. So I don't.
No, they haven't melted, but they are melting.
Oh yeah, but like, I think the problem is like with everything, they end up getting into kind of like an institutionalized like group mentality. And they, you know, if they're constantly talking about the problem all day, every day, then the intensity of it magnifies, and to the point where.
Well, I would also say there were a whole shitload of documentaries that came out. I would say that actually has a lot bigger of an impact than anything else. Was all those documentaries that came out?
No, I mean in their own groups. I don't mean in wider public. Oh, the reason he'd tweet out something like, you know, next year we're all going to be flooded or whatever. You know, I think that all comes to just this, and you see it all the time, like the psychology of like the in-group just reinforcing their own biases constantly, and bigging up a problem worse than it really is. And I'm sure we do it as well with the SJWs. I'm absolutely sure we do. You know,
I would suppose so, but I would just still say that he's not necessarily wrong about the problem itself.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not making any comment about that. I'm sure. In any case, I'm happy to go with whatever the scientific consensus is. I really don't know.
There's more to the Clinton negativity than Trump backlash, as the Bloomberg poll makes clear. One poll responded, 46-year-old Robert Taylor voted for Clinton and said in a follow-up interview that he doesn't blame her for Trump. I think my negativity about her would be there whether Trump was elected or not, he said. Right.
Oh yeah,
Very
like we've
professional.
already covered. If Trump turned into ISIS, he'd still be. It wouldn't affect Hillary Clinton's popularity at all.
Yeah. All right, so let's breeze through this because we've been actually going for a while. So this is this article from Gersh Kuntzman. He says, "Hey, Hillary Clinton, shut the fuck up and go away already. I voted for Clinton on November 8th and thought she'd be a good president, but she lost, and she still wants us to feel bad about that. And worse, she's still blaming everyone else. On Tuesday at a Women for..." Yeah, this is definitely the conference I'm talking about. I've mentioned.
Yeah, me too.
Tuesday Women for Women conference. Nice, great name. She reminded us again what a flawed candidate she was last year and what a flawed person she has always been. That damn. In her talk before a friendly audience, Clinton said that she's writing a memoir. God. And
I'll probably read that. I'll probably read just how, like, I want to know how she thinks of herself.
I'll give it to a fucking psychiatrist to read because I want to know what they have to say about that.
Honestly, maybe it would be worth
to just rename it Narcissism Defined. That'd be the name of it. Anyways, to revisit how Donald Trump beat her like a rag doll in an election that was a lock. Damn. Painful. We're the ones in pain, Hillary. You're making millions to process it. We're the ones living it. I love this. I could do a fucking like a funny read of this. She also said she would discuss the mistakes she made during the campaign, then declined to mention even one. Instead, she fell back on the usual suspects, the Russians and FBI Director James Comey, who indeed meddled in the election at the last minute. If the election had been held on October 27th, that would be your president, she said. Sure, boo-hoo.
What I love about this is that she clearly needs all of these excuses. I mean,
definitely.
If she were to suddenly turn and say, you know what, actually none of these excuses are true, it's all my fault, she'd probably go hang herself.
Yeah, probably. I would say that 90% of what happened with this, I mean, the fact that she didn't come out to give her concession speech after she lost, that she sent out what's his face, John Podesta. That to me showed, and I think we watched that live. I think you and I actually, and everyone else that was in that stream, watched that live. And that to me at the moment was so unbelievably irritating. But to me now it shows that she must have had a fucking, and people were saying she was drinking like a goddamn fish that night.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she had a fucking breakdown after that.
Would not fucking surprise me. I mean, like, and the thing is as well, like, you saw there have been multiple times where Bill Clinton's been giving a speech and someone just gets up and starts shouting, "You're a rapist" at him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit. You know, and now you've got like NY Daily News. This guy writes comment, "Fucking shut up and fuck off, Hillary." I mean, that's your political career. That's the climax of your political career, Hillary.
Yeah, fuck off.
You and your husband. I mean, like, everyone thinks you know, like literally half of Republicans think Pizzagate is true. Half of them. That's millions of people who think your campaign manager fiddles kids, Hillary.
I don't even know if any of that's real or not, but I would say that the only thing that I do know about him is that
it's the perceptions of the people. That's
right.
You know, but they perceive him to be working with a pedo.
Well, I would say that even in the case of Pizzagate, the thing with John Podesta is that even regardless of whether it's true or false, he is a weird motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
Full-blown fucking weirdo. But
he's not like lovable like fucking what's his name?
He's not eccentric. He's just a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, Sean.
The conspiracy on both sides. 80% of Democrats believe that Russia had hacked the election, and I think it's 49%.
I don't believe that statistic. 80% of Democrats. I don't believe that.
I'll find it. Seriously, I'll find it.
All right, go ahead. I'll keep reading. You go find that because I don't believe that poll. I'll fucking go. I'll go hang myself right now. I'll fucking Lincoln Park myself right now. Nothing for the Lincoln Park suicide joke. Come on.
Anyways. I'd like to praise the shooter.
What?
That's what I laughed at in the video Thunderfoot put out when you said, you know, I'd just like to take a moment to praise the shooter.
Oh yeah, right. With the fucking what's his face? The Deadpool, whatever the fuck. Anyways, sorry, Simon and Schuster may want Hillary Clinton to write the history, but I'm not about to let her rewrite it. No one deserves more blame for the election debacle than Hillary Rodham Clinton. Very well said. This is the one Clinton voter in the fucking country that actually understands the issue. Let us count the ways. Number 1, she was indeed untrustworthy. Remember her fainting spell at the 9/11 ceremony? Remember how long it took for her to tell the truth? Remember that they reminded every voter in America that Hillary Clinton's first instinct was to lie, just like she did when she claimed she had taken sniper fire during the First Lady trip to Bosnia. Just as she did when she was never sent classified documents over her private email server. Damn. Beyond that, she was too close to the Clinton Foundation and didn't have a good answer when the Associated Press reported that the donors of the foundation got an open channel to then Secretary of State Clinton. That was a huge fucking thing. That the foreign fucking operatives were donating to her foundation while she was Secretary of State, and then was proceeding to make trade deals with those same nations or representatives of those nations. It was insane what she was doing. She ran a very poor campaign. Clinton was likely point out of on page 1 that she stayed on message when Donald Trump shambled and grabbed pussy all over the place. But Clinton did not have a message beyond "I'm not with stupid." She had genuine experience serving the public and an understanding of how the government works. She had an entire party establishment clearing the decks for her and giving her the debate questions.
You know what I said about the conspiracy theories? I'm sure I saw a graph that had Democrats being polled incredibly highly, like literally like 78% to believing that Russia had full influence.
I don't think it was that high, but I think it was more than half. I think that's what it was. I think it was more than
I can't find it, so I'll just rescind
All right,
it. We'll assume I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, whatever. We'll just say whatever. Anyways, giving her the debate questions, and she was running against a madman. But when she called half the country, again, right here, and I haven't even read this, she called half the country basket of deplorables, it was pretty much over. As Mitt Romney learned 4 years earlier when he said that 40% of the country were freeloaders, you're not the smartest guy in the room if you make a gaffe as dumb as that. Yeah. And I think that one of the things that he was saying with that, with the 47% thing in that privately recorded thing, is that 40% of the public, to some degree, is dependent on some kind of government dole, some kind of government
aid.
Aid. But the issue is so is every fucking business owner. So is every major corporation. So is every fucking thing. Everything has connections to the government because it's a regulated fucking market.
Yeah.
And people paying to the system. And does that include every single fucking person that's paid into Social Security? Mitt Romney, it probably does, because you're a fucking piece of shit. And that's the danger, is that, when people talk to me about Republicans and why I'm not on the right, it's like, well, I don't want to privatize literally every single thing in the government, including Social Security and everything else. Because as we can see with so many things, that oftentimes when you give things to Wall Street or the finance industry, it just becomes a fucking...
They fuck it up.
Well, it becomes a cookie jar that they strip every cookie from, lie about how many cookies are in it, and then when everything collapses, they go, yeah, the government can pay for that.
Yeah, we need a bailout. But yeah,
so anyways.
But no, I'm in complete agreement on that. I mean, you can't trust them.
She set up a private email server. It's basic. The only reason to set up a private email server and to delete some of the emails on it is because you want to hide something from the public. Damn. Clinton never provided a good answer to the simple, why would you do that? Damn.
Yeah. No, that's what we've been saying.
Yeah. Number 4, those Goldman Sachs speeches. You can't be a prostitute on Wall Street and then go to church on Main Street. Damn. That has to be the most scathing thing on here.
That's not. There's no velvet glove here, is there?
No, because I mean that would be something that someone such as myself would say, that she's a Wall Street cocksucker. Like that is or a whore for fucking Wall Street. That'd be the exact thing that someone like me would say. So I like it. I like this guy. He's great. The cuntsman. He's on the fucking troll, man. He's fucking
the cuntsman. That's great.
Hillary Clinton's failures gave us President Donald Trump, and I agree with that. Click on every one of these words is a fucking article. God. Click on every word in this sentence for why that's a debacle. Every single word is an article. That's hilarious. Oh, man. So, no, I don't understand why a publishing firm would give Hillary Clinton millions of dollars to not even admit her mistakes. Full disclosure, I have 3 more far interesting books that Simon & Schuster can have for a fraction of the Clintons' advance, including Bad Seeds, an unpublished novel. Hitler would have double-parked an unpublished novel and published my unpublished novel, an unpublished novel. So I don't see why we can't make a deal. That's funny. I like the joke. Oh, it's not over with. The American public does not want a book from Hillary Clinton. It wants an abject apology. Absolutely true. And it wants it for free. She got what she deserved. She lost. Damn. Now she needs to shut up and go home. God damn. I can't believe any major outlet actually published this.
No.
God damn, dude. This is like a Twitter fucking tweet, like a Twitter thread of a rant.
Yeah, like a fucking meltdown on Twitter. But no, this is awesome. That was a great article.
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed
Great job, Mr. Gersh Kuntzman. That was a great article, bro.
Kuntzman. That's a great name too.
So now we move on to the piece de resistance. Now we move on to the best article here. And this article for me.
Oh, can I go and get a drink?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be like 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I guess since he's gone, we'll move on to something fucking stupid to make up the time. And we'll go to this, because somebody sent it to me, and it's fucking stupid. Now sex robots with frigid settings allow men to simulate rape. According to the company's website, if you touch Frigid Farah model in a private area, more than likely she will not be appreciative of your advance, by Beth Timmons. And this is from yesterday. It seems a new frontier has been reached in the fast-paced world of artificial intelligence, but as fast as technology is able to advance, it can still be a reapproach for moral retrogression. This has been the subject of the debate after the recent advertisement of Roxy True Companion, a robot you can buy and simulate raping with a single switch in setting. One of the programmable personalities for the robot is Frigid Farah, described as reserved and shy on the True Companion company website. Like Wild Wendy and S&M Susan, whose characteristics are self-ascribed, the website says that for Frigid Farah, if you touch her in a private area, more than likely she will not be appreciative of your advance. In the website's description, the model lacks an attempt to reproduce consent in the real world, and the company say that robots allow everyone to realize their most private sexual dreams. Well, that is not acceptable. We must control everything, and even people's thoughts. Another program personality that has been heavily criticized by fucking ideologues is that of young Yoko. Okay, we're headed in the right direction. Who is described on the website as oh so barely 18 and waiting for you to teach her. I love that they give her a fucking Japanese. I love it. We gotta fucking head over there. I'm gonna get a fucking an affiliate link with this website. I'm gonna sell a lot of these, I think. Roxy is the 9th version of the company's sex robots after they developed their first Trudy in the 1990s, and their trade in sex robots has already caught on. New York Times reports that a California-based company, Abyss Creations, actually ships up to 600 hyper-realistic sex dolls worldwide. Okay, is this fucking hyper-realistic? Are you fucking kidding me with that? It looks like something. It looks like a joke. It looks like something that you go to a stag party with and throw at a friend to fuck with. This is not something I would fuck. Okay, I could go on a dating app and find somebody that is much better looking than this, and more willing to fuck, and is ready to go. I just fucking have to find the person. Okay, it's not that fucking hard to find somebody to fuck. You could just pay like half as much as this doll costs to get a fucking prostitute. Jesus. And then I'm only saying that until they actually become fairly realistic, and then that affiliate link is coming. All right. So let's be real about it. Also warns of numerous ethical implications in our sexual future with robots. I don't know if we even have to continue doing this. I don't even know if we have to spend the first, another however much time to go through this article. I mean, do I need to spoil it for you why these people don't want, why Beth, who's probably a fat fuck or an unfuckable fucking woman in her 30s or 40s, it doesn't even, is this actually linked to anything? Do I get a profile? Do I get a picture? Yeah, what do we got? We got a State Farm advert and literally nothing. It just goes to nothing. This is a feminist that fears the current paradigm of sex politics being completely fucking reversed. Having all of the shit that's currently going on with the fact that women control sex, having that cart completely fucking upended. And for men to now have full capacity to just do what the fuck they want. If they want to fuck some realistic doll, they can do it. The social prejudice that may exist will evaporate very fucking quickly, especially if they become more like something you'd see in a sci-fi movie. The second that happens, the gender politics in the situation that exists now, the current paradigm, evaporates in a fucking second. And thankfully, I would say that my interaction with most women is that most women seem completely ignorant of the current paradigm. They don't really seem to understand the dynamics that exist between men and women. However, there are a certain segment of women that are fully aware of the paradigm that exists, and they take advantage of it to the most that they can. And when they see issues like this, where some men somewhere might fuck this piece of shit, that they fear losing total hegemony over sex. And so they freak the fuck out and condemn it. And will likely try to get this banned. As innocent as I see it, because I wouldn't buy this. And I doubt that many people listening to this would buy this. But any threat to their hegemony that they hold right now is a threat to them, and they will take it seriously. And that's what this is. And that's why they speak out against it. This is one of, I think, 24 articles that has been sent to me about this exact issue. This exact same issue about sex robots. Exact same. And it's because of that they see their paradigm crumbling and they fear losing it. So, sorry I spoiled it for you guys. I'm going to keep that off screen because I want to wait till Sargon gets back till we can go to it. So I'm going to quickly go to, actually, you know what? Let's take a look at Super Chat because I haven't looked at that at all. So let me figure out where I have to look to see Super Chat. And I will look at it. I just need to figure out where the fuck it is. Give me a second, you guys. I'd also like to thank everyone for, tuning in and all that. I think we're at a record currently in terms of live viewers. I don't think I want to click on live control room. I think I want to look at this. Maybe I do want to click on live control room. Okay, here it is. Okay, one more second and then I will... Actually, let me exit off of this. Okay, here we go. Let me look at Super Chat. Okay, we got one from Charming Man. Says, Senpai noticed me. Hey, Charming Man. Alex W. says, Yvonne Falarsa got arrested again. I think that's a... I'll bring that up to Sargon once he gets back. Is Sargon a weeb who buys stuff on JList? I would say yes. Be sure to follow my affiliate link. Also, the official affiliate link of Sargon of Akkad. Follow my affiliate link. Go on JList, buy some shit. Will Maj says, when are you guys going to talk about weeb shit? That's what everyone wants. Maybe later on. Kid Rock 2020. Oh, fuck off. Psychotic Cognition says he just had a podcast with Scott Adams. I didn't know that. You mean Sargon? Lewis, thanks for the school days recommendation. It's pretty good. Sargon, will you join Lewis and Pioneer of the Anime Left? Yeah, I'll ask him when he gets back about that. I'll keep that in mind, Carlos. And you're welcome for the recommendation. I like it. Make sure Sekai is your fucking waifu, bruh. Craig says, check your Super Chat. I am. Nerve Honor says, Lewis, you are an honorable and cool guy. Thanks for being cool. Sargon is a nihilist fedora lord. That's all. That's all, folks. Peace out. Thanks, Nerve. Weeb says, take this and buy fucking news. Thank you for that, Weeb. I appreciate the $10 that I can go afford to buy some fucking rope and kill myself with. I appreciate that. I'll try to remember to ask Sargon about these super chats when he gets back. And let me check the chat currently just to see what's going on. Hey guys, welcome to the fucking stream. We're waiting for Sargon to get back, and then we will continue on with the main article. The main article for this whole thing. Like, if you thought the last 2 articles were bad, you have no fucking clue what's coming up. You have no fucking clue. I read it earlier. I couldn't even finish it. I was just floored by it. I couldn't believe it was real. So, get ready for that. All right, we got another super chat. What is that? My face one? Is that what you mean by that? A weeb has more journalistic integrity than Alex Jones? I guess so.
No, I mean, don't. Jesus.
Yeah, it's true. Anyways, I got a couple questions for you now that you're back. Someone wanted me to... Yeah, somebody wanted me to tell you that Yvonne Falarsa chick that runs
She's been arrested, isn't she?
Yeah, she got arrested again.
Yeah.
Where was the other one? Oh, that this donor, this super chatter wants me to ask you that, are you going to join me in forming the anime left to counteract the anime right? No? Okay, well, you're a fucking racist, and I think we can just confirm that now.
I think both of you should be gassed equally.
Anyways, so yeah, I
have no ill will towards anime.
Sure. We'll just say I believe that for now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I did the sex robot article while you were gone, and I just pretty much boil it down to this is feminists trying to control their hegemony. In the paradigm of sex.
Undoubtedly.
So I'm going to set this article up before I even show it on screen. So I have been saying for fucking years, that one of the biggest threats that exists out there are rating boards. Whether they're attached to the government or they are not. They are so-called independent agencies. Review boards and ratings boards are a threat. And that it is inevitable before they start a massive crackdown. And that crackdown will be on everything that everyone likes that feminists do not like. It is just
sweeping. Okay.
It is just a matter of time before every single board, no matter how big or small, no matter what they cover, they will start to crack down. And there was just a recent thing done by 4chan where they were calling out the ESA for being one of those organizations. And the ESA runs the ESRB, which rate games.
Yeah.
They have been infiltrated by social justice warriors. And the head of the company has been speaking out to that effect, saying that games need to change to become more diverse and inclusive. And that his organization will eventually reflect that. So that is a direct threat of censorship. He is a lunatic. And in my opinion, all ratings boards should be abolished, because so long as they exist, they threaten free speech, free expression, and they will be nothing more than censors. And they will do whatever they can within their means to take the brush or the pen or whatever out of the artist's hand. That's the only role that they serve in society, is to do exactly that.
Yeah.
And as the left, or what you would consider the authoritarian quote-unquote left, loses power, these will be the avenues by which they try to censor culture.
Yeah,
because that's what they
the
see.
way that they try to cling to what they have.
Yes,
by stamping down on the dissidents.
Yes,
and that will make the dissidents more popular and make them seem more tyrannical.
And trying to promote, and you can see this in video games, trying to promote their ideology through culture, through media. Not that they're not already doing it, but they will go from a 5 to an 11 in terms of effort.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it on Twitter now. The activists are really engaged.
Oh yeah.
So they really care. You know, I mean, like on every Trump tweet, fucking. I mean, I saw an article the other day that one of them had complained that he had banned her, blocked her on Twitter, and it was hurting her career. That's how.
Yeah, that was the tweet I put on Skype earlier. Was in my own mayor endorsed this. Was they were trying, I think, to get Richard Spencer banned from Twitter. They're like, yeah, ban him, and it's just like,
get that article up.
What's that? It wasn't an article. It was just tweets that I found.
No. This was this week or like last week. Just put the article up.
Oh, you got it? All right. Now let me hold on. It's loading. All right, got it.
You'll have to stop the video.
Oh yeah, is this the chick that's suing him?
Yeah, I think so.
Or one of them, I guess.
But just the headline: Trump blocked me on Twitter, and it's costing me my career. Imagine if that was the actual. I mean, maybe that's the case. Who knows? But it's just like, fuck that. This is 2017, where Trump can destroy a journalist's career by blocking them on Twitter.
Well, that's fucking stupid. Because I mean, what industry outside of like maybe? I mean, outside of like Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A and like a handful of privately owned corporations that are upper their management because it's a family, are right wing. I mean, outside of those companies, what company in this country is not overtly left leaning and that diversity and blah blah blah? Like, find me one that doesn't have a diversity chair. Chick-fil-A might have a fucking diversity chair.
Of course they do. They all do. But look at it. Read the first paragraph of this, and it's amazing.
My most of my writing is about the Trump administration. In fact, my mandate from Pacific Standard is Trump and the law. On Twitter, the bulk of my recent follower growth and new relationships with others in the political, legal sphere have come out of responding quickly when the president tweets and engaging the threat. I mean, you're just botting him. That's all you're doing. You're like, you created a bot to spam him every time he tweets.
No. But the thing is, it's worse than that, right? I mean, they were accused of using Trump's Twitter feed to advance their own careers.
Yes, that's what all these people are doing.
Yeah, and she's literally just saying it there. That's exactly what she does. Yeah, she goes there, she posts something inflammatory and just, I hate you, Donald Trump, you're a big meanie head. I think you're wrong. And then, gets, 10,000 likes. And
it's amazing, too, because I've seen the guy that runs Gab, that guy?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know of him.
Yeah. He's been doing it, too. And it's like he'll tweet the same bullshit over and over again. He'll get hundreds of likes and retweets just by doing that. Spamming, it's all supportive of Trump, obviously. But, he gets an amazing response from that. So it's not hard to see. But the thing is like, if that cost you your career, what career did you actually fucking have?
Well, yeah, there is that, yeah.
You got a bunch of likes on Twitter. That's my career. Are you kidding?
Incredible, isn't it? This is the future economy. But this is the thing. It's like, it's an incredible, attention economy that's built up around Trump's Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Just like, it's a fucking
there's been a bunch of people that have said that if they actually ban him off of Twitter, that might actually fuck the company legitimately.
Oh yeah, Trump would have to do something. He would have to do something. I don't even know what he could do. But I love the way,
because they not only would they be banning his personal account, they'd be banning his actual presidential account at POTUS.
Yeah. Because he can tweet from that, can't he? So.
Yeah, he's retweeted a couple things from that. He also retweeted that meme from the presidential account, which is great. So that actually goes in the National Archives, if you can believe it. They actually archive it.
Yeah, you've archived that meme. The internet has arrived. Get used to it.
But I mean, it is the future. It is really the future of politics. So I don't really look at it as totally lowbrow. I think it is in many ways something that eventually. AstroTurf memes already exist. It is a thing. So money already exists.
The CIA had a meme warfare division. We know it's a thing.
Right. We don't really know whether that actually was a thing or that was literally just something they said they did in order to burn.
So I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
I find it more likely that they just
No, it's exactly as you say, though, because it's like this is literally the future. This is not going to be the first presidential meme. So get used to it going forward.
Yeah. I was just going to say that I think that didn't exist, and they probably just took the pallet of money that they had in terms of the budget to do it and probably just lit it on fire. because that's pretty much what the CIA does.
But the thing is, go back to this article, because it's the mind. No, listen, it's the mindset. Right? I'll read you the bits that are important.
All right.
So when she's like, Donald Trump blocked me in June, apparently for suggesting that Russia influenced the outcome of the 2016 election. He harmed me professionally. Even though I knew Trump was important, his Twitter account was important to my career, it still took me a few days to recognize how being blocked by the president on Twitter would affect me as a public intellectual. Twitter initially became a haven for me when I recognized it as a great equalizer in the media world. Washington, D.C. generally, and the world of writing and commentary specifically, operate on networks and connections that many denizens inherit. Mine are hard-won. Not every tweet is a hit, but when I make my point pithily and it's liked and retweeted by thousands of people, out of the people who agree with my point or like the way I make it, follow me or reach out. And some of those people are editors, experts, advocates who become employers, contributors, and collaborators. Gone now is my ability to participate in the timeliest and most robust conversations around law, policy, and politics on Twitter, around the president's tweets. Taking part in these exchanges is an ideal way to stay current on not just facts, but new ideas. Have you read these fucking exchanges, woman? They're just people bitching Donald Trump out. But anyway, I've been forced out and have no meaningful way to rejoin them. And so, but the thing is, this is the bit I love. I didn't think being blocked on Twitter was a big deal at first. It's just a button you can click, a way to mute an X or tune out a troll's attacks. That's what you are to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You are
legit,
just a fucking troll. And it's the way you dismiss trolls is the way he's dismissed you. And now you know how the trolls feel when they're trying to interact in your conversation and you block them.
Well said.
Get fucked is my fucking opinion on this.
Yeah.
Donald Trump can block anyone he fucking likes. And more, it's all the funny. It's funny how he ruins their networks when he does it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking funny. But yeah, you've turned into Donald Trump's trolls, you little fucking... You've turned into Donald Trump's fucking aggregate Twitter feed. Almost every fucking article about Trump contains a bunch of his tweets. I may as well just read his Twitter feed if I want to know what you think, you fucking idiots.
That's true. That is true. Because I don't even know how you could keep up with some of those accounts. They literally send him like hundreds of fucking replies. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's all just fucking peacocking. It's all showing the feathers.
Yeah, definitely.
None of it means anything, and he blocks you, and then you write a whiny article. It's amazing. But yeah, so yeah, that was the reason I wanted to bring that up, because it was just the hypocrisy of it. It's so fucking bourgeois. The trolls, that's fine. They're a class below me, but he's a class above me, and he blocked me. Oh no! So yeah, get used to it. Classism sucks.
Oh man. Yeah,
let's
I don't really know if I have anything much more to say to that, because it really is just something stupid.
No, it's so fucking pretentious, though. It's just like, it's all about pretensions, and it really annoys me, because I'm not really a pretentious man. I can't be bothered to be pretentious, and I know how that sounds, but seriously, I don't care. I just don't care about it.
All right, well, let's see what happens. We're moving on to the next article, and I just want to relay again to say that what I've been saying about ratings boards. And we're going to move to that and to show you and review boards and that sort of thing. The people that basically try to act as gatekeepers to art and information and speech. People that are out there doing. So we're
they're aware of their position as gatekeepers as well.
Right, and they abuse it.
Yeah,
they see themselves
they're cognizant of the fact that they are the gatekeepers. It's not something they do without really realizing. There are academic articles talking about this. It's a well-known phenomenon. But sorry, Karen.
So this article from the New York Times is called "Britain Cracking Down on Gender Stereotypes in Ads."
Yep. How dare you? How very dare you?
And so we'll just start based on one ad for baby formula showed a little girl growing up to be a ballerina and a little boy becoming a mathematician. Another, see if anyone remembers this one, another ad for a weight loss drink asked viewers if they were Beachbody ready and showed a bikini-wearing woman whose bronzed image critics said promoted an unrealistic standard of beauty among fucking land whales.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what really amuses me is that was a real model, and they were saying that her real body was an unrealistic standard of beauty. Yes. And apparently they hadn't photoshopped it either.
No,
she's some vegan fitness freak or something.
I haven't. I've seen plenty of chicks that are pretty into fitness, even that are older, and it's not impossible.
No.
To even in an older age, be completely fit. It doesn't mean that you don't have the age that comes with it. It's something you can't avoid, really. But the idea that, you know, just because you're a lazy fucking cunt that works for a press outlet, it doesn't justify the fact that you're insecure about the fact that you're fucking fat. You know, just get on the fucking treadmill, lift some goddamn weights, go for a jog. You know, you can lose the weight. And if you eat the right diet and work out at a consistent level, you won't be fat anymore. But would you rather do that, or would you rather type about how everyone's fucking patriarchal?
It's hard work getting on a treadmill. I know, because I've been getting on a treadmill, and it's hard work to have the, you know, mental fortitude to do it every fucking day. But I've actually been doing it every fucking day. I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah, we'll keep doing that. And then guess what? Guess what'll happen if you keep doing it? Guess what'll happen?
Yeah, I know. It's this thing, you know, I'm fat. I don't care. And I've never been like, it's wrong to be, you know, like, it's true. You know, it's just something about you that's
think about it this way. If you get on the treadmill every day and you lift weights and you get in shape and you get in good shape, you can then do, instead of doing face cams, you can do body cams. You could be like that golden guy.
I will not be doing body cams, thanks.
You do body cams, and then you can make fun of fat fucking Landwells and say, hey, I used to be fat. What's your
do that anyway?
Fat
I can say that. I know, but I would. I can just be like, yeah, but you're fucking huge. You're fat. Yeah, I know. That's why I can say you're fucking huge. You know, there's no excuse for being as fat as I am, let alone as fat as you are.
I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Not you personally, but you do sound like you're fat.
Really?
No, I'm waiting you up.
Okay. I'm like 155 and 5'10".
Yeah, okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
A third, this is another one that I saw everywhere that they were really pissed about. A third ad for the video game, it's a mobile game, Game of War, showed the American actress Kate Upton scantily dressed on a horse, making it seem as though sexual desirability was a prerequisite for leadership. No, you fucking retard. It's an advertising strategy to sell a game to fucking men.
And it's considered pathetic among men. It's cheap as fuck. Oh, it's a Game of War with a chick with her tits out. Yeah, that's cheap as fuck advertising. That's going to get teenage boys clicking on it. Fucking, you know, anyone with an ounce of sense knows that's probably a shit game, which is why they have to use tits.
Yes, it is. And they made a lot of money, but they also I mean, I think they had Arnold Schwarzenegger doing ads for them.
Oh yeah, I think they did at one point. Yeah.
So it's like they're obviously catering to men. It's obvious. Yeah. Why do you put old action heroes in there? Why do you put hot women in there? You're catering to an audience. But the thing is, again, it's either. Okay, so here's the question I have for you. Is this power politics, or is this looking through a lens and not seeing reality?
Okay, well, you can't... Everything about social justice is rooted in power politics. I mean, they have to define everything in terms of power, oppressor and oppressed. So, yes, it is power politics, but it's also specifically the lens of feminist power politics, because everything's just gender.
I guess so. I mean, it's so irritating to me that it's like they can't. It doesn't even so that they like. It would be cynical if they didn't want to admit that this is an actual strategy that does work, and that's why it's done. It has efficacy. That's why it's done. They don't seem to actually ever want to admit that. So instead, they just say that this is some kind of sexist appeal, when it's like, no, there is no appeal in modern society for male chauvinism. There is absolutely fucking none.
No.
You know,
it's really looked down on.
Gavin McGinnis does that all the fucking time, ironically.
Yeah.
Even there, the reason why it's appealing to a certain crowd is because it's ironic.
Yeah. Like they seem to think that, like, Biff from Back to the Future is most men, and I even saw Jonathan McIntosh use him as an example of like what he would have liked to have done, but instead he went for Donald Trump, and it's like, holy shit, dude! I mean, like, men who are like the caricature you put out of Donald Trump, which is Biff from Back to the Future. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever actually met someone like that. You know, I'm sure it's possible for them to exist, but They must be so fucking rare. Why are you concerning yourself with this?
I think I actually have done a stream before where I talked about a kid that I went to high school with who actually was like Biff, but not as big and not as strong. And he had like a goon squad that would roll around with him, exactly like Biff. And eventually he got like the shit kicked out of him enough times where people basically lost any and all respect and any fear about him. And then they just became just another guy in the school. It was an interesting thing to see. It was funny too, because one of the times, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but one of the things that happened to him was basically he picked a fight with a bunch of Indian kids at my school. And because I live right near a res, and and this is the thing, like, you don't fuck with the Indian kids, because like when you do that, they basically they know each other because they all live in the res. So it's like, yeah, by the way, this guy fucked with me today. Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow when we go in, do you want to kill him? It's like, yeah, sure. So they literally waited until after school. He came out in the parking lot. This is, I think, my was it not sophomore, junior year. And they waited until he came outside to get in his car, and they literally, it was like 16 guys just came up to him, beat the shit out of him, put him in the hospital. He had his friends with him. They all ran away.
No shit.
Yeah, they chased him away because there's 16 guys.
Yeah, I'm not fucking. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so
man,
I've never met anyone like that myself. So,
but he was a piece of shit. He was exactly like Biff. He would just go around and just be fucking mean to people.
Yeah, of course he's a piece of shit.
And he would do shit like that Biff would do, to like lift skirts and stuff. He would actually do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was a piece of shit, but he got his just desserts eventually. They fucking beat the shit out of him a couple times. Anyways, getting back to this.
No, but rightly so. You know, it's like, but it's such a like strange caricature that doesn't really represent anyone. You know?
Yeah. But that's the point of Biff in the film. And the thing is about like Biff as a character. I'm trying to remember the guy's name is Tom something. The guy that did that was the actor. Was a lot of fucking people like Biff, and that includes me. I like Biff a lot. I think he's one of the best characters of Back to the Future.
He's entertaining, yeah.
Yes. Well, he's likable in the fact that he's such a character in his over the topness and his especially I like his the way that he the way that he reacts to things, and the like when he raises his voice. And that sort of thing, where he gets upset by something, but at the same time, it's usually because of something he's done, and he's just so out of touch in terms of his own responsibility to what happens in his own life. But he also, the other thing I can say is that one of the things that people don't give credit to Biff is that he's entrepreneurial. He's always, at least to some degree, been a success, and he comes from a broken home. He lives with his grandmother.
So you're saying that Biff, the nearly date rapist, not even date rape, Jesus, just nearly rapist, is actually a sympathetic character, is he?
Yeah, to some degree, yes, he is. He actually is to some degree. Well, I would say that at least in part, in terms of his life, that it's not entirely his fault for being so fucked up. He's had a fucked up life.
I was just teasing. Yeah.
But also, I would say that that's also an upside, and I think that's where the connection that people don't give to, where the connection that exists between Trump and Biff is the entrepreneurialism.
Well, to be fair, Trump was probably actually quite a lot like Biff. From what I've heard, apparently he used to like fighting when he was younger and stuff like this. So I can believe that.
Yeah. Well, he also comes from a certain class of people.
Yeah, exactly. I can believe that Trump wasn't like Biff. You know?
Because they actually, I've seen articles on this. His father was like really down to earth, like really connected to people on the ground, and I think that's why I think most of where his appeal comes from is that he's never really been part of like as far as I know, like he wasn't part of any kind of like fraternity in the same way like George W. Bush was.
Either way, I think personality wise, I mean, he clearly was happy to go on the wrestling thing. And
absolutely.
He clearly just loved the adulation of the crowd, and he felt. I imagine he feels that they are a lot more his people than the liberal elites are,
absolutely.
He obviously enjoys their company a lot more. I mean, you can tell he just enjoys doing his rallies, where he's just sat there bullshitting with the audience. It's actually kind of entertaining, It's just like sitting there chatting to them about shit. Yeah, this bullshit, it's bullshit. And
Hillary Clinton never did anything like that.
No, of course she didn't. I swear to God, I mean, like, I don't understand. I mean, it's the verified lefties on Twitter who are like Hillary Clinton's cult followers, and there are tens of thousands of them. But beyond that, I can't imagine
you even
anyone...
had that in one of your videos where like one of her like you had it like 2 points where she was just shit talking with the press, and that was when she was her most comfortable.
Yep. Yeah. She had the press corps on a fucking plane with her. So they'd fly around to wherever she was. And then, she literally, I mean, they did one of those like viral videos with her and the press in where, you know, everyone's standing still and the camera's going around and nobody's moving. You know, it like she was doing playing games with them and doing, you know, silly internet things with them. It's like, look, this is obviously way too fucking close.
Oh, yeah.
And she's actually comfortable with the press.
I would say, though, that it speaks more...
Because they shout things like Bill Clinton's a rapist.
Right. Well, I would say that there's that part of it, too, that like of the collusion in that. But I would say that, honestly, more than not, it is like a class of people.
Yeah, I think
this is just a certain strata within the United States, and they do genuinely like her.
Yeah, they probably do. And it's because she's powerful. She's powerful and corporate and professional and more than willing to embrace progressivism. You know, that's why they like her. And she'll, you know, I imagine they all think that they're having genuine relationships with one another as well.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, I think they've got to the point where they've convinced themselves of that.
Anyways, let's get back to this, because there's a fucking part in this that I want you to see where I want your reaction to this, because you haven't seen this article, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's continue. Britain's advertising regulator reacted to these ads and similar ones, announcing Tuesday that new rules would be developed to ban advertising that promotes gender stereotypes and denigrates people who do not conform to them, sexually objectifies women, or promotes unhealthy body images. By the way, when it comes to objectification, that is literally any image of a woman. Any image of a woman objectifies a woman.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, that could literally be anything. I mean, you're probably thinking woman in bikini, but like...
No, I mean, literally, if you use a woman in an ad, that is part of the critical, the Marxist understanding of objectification. Any usage of a woman in an advertisement, or even to any effect, if you just take a picture of a woman, put it on a wall, that is objectification.
I'm certain they mean in a sexual manner. I'm sure they're not being that.
That's just up to the fucking feminists speaking.
Well, yeah, I know, but like knowing the feminists, I think they're thinking in a sexual manner. Because the thing is, they'd complain if there were no women in adverts. So they're doing an Eat Suck Easy and they're going, no, she has to be wearing a burqa or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You know, like.
But in any case, I want you to. I said the key word and I almost spoiled it, but I want you to keep one of those words in mind. I'm not going to say which one of those words that plays a key importance here. So, anyways, the regulator, the Advertising Standards Authority, released a report titled "Depictions, Perceptions, and Harm," asking whether existing regulations address the potential for harm or offense arising from the inclusion of gender stereotypes in ads.
Well, the word potential is the key word for me. Has any harm actually been done? What measurable harm has been done by these ads?
We'll just continue on. We'll just see. Yeah. The answer the report found is no. The agency found that stereotypes could restrict the choices, aspirations, and opportunities of ad viewers, especially girls and teenagers who are figuring out their identities and goals.
And what proof do they have of this?
I'm trying to remember. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to remember where it is. Our review shows that specific forms of gender stereotypes in ads can contribute to harm for adults and children, said Ellis Samil, the lead author of the report. Such portrayals can limit how people see themselves, how others see them, and limit the life decisions they make.
How's that harm? How's that harm?
Well, it limits the life decisions they take.
Yeah, but they take life decisions for all sorts of reasons. Gender stereotypes might be one of those reasons. But then why focus on that one? Why not focus on any of the other reasons that limit their life choices? Why focus on gender? Well, I mean, and again, I don't even necessarily think that means harm. Yeah, okay, you might be losing out on an opportunity, but I don't think you can reasonably say you're harmed by losing out on an opportunity.
I'm pretty sure
your state hasn't changed.
You know, I have to say, Sargon, aren't you a father? Aren't you concerned about what your children see in advertisements? Isn't it in your interest to?
I don't think gender stereotypes will actually hurt them.
Just change it. Just change it a little bit. Just change. I mean, just a little bit of change.
I am more worried about them seeing some of the nonsense the progressives put in adverts.
I mean, it's not the government. It's not the government, Carl.
Actually, this is the government.
No. This is an independent body. This is an independent body. This is different than the government. This isn't the government. This is different. Okay?
Government appointed independent body. Yeah. Sure.
I'm just saying this is purely independent. And I mean, we are reaching a greater good, and we are helping your children.
I
hope you understand.
Of all the non-issues, well, there was a gender stereotype in that advert. Okay, all right.
I'm trying to. There was a line in this that I think I may have misinterpreted. I'm trying to find where it was. Anyways, let's just continue. Well, actually, did I get the Okay, the Committee on Advertising Practice, which sets British advertising standards in consultation with the industry, will develop new standards starting later this year. The Advertising Standards Authority, an independent body, will then enforce those rules. So independent, not the government, independent, purely independent.
Not filled with feminist ideologues.
No, definitely not. They're completely objective. While advertising is only one of the many factors that contribute to an unequal... Okay, so here... Okay, let me start again. Okay. While advertising is only one of the many factors that contribute to unequal gender outcomes, tougher advertising standards can play an important role in tackling inequalities, improving outcomes for individuals, the economy, and society as a whole, said Guy Parker, the chief executive of the Advertising Standards Authority.
Pure fucking ideology. Pure ideology.
I want to ask you, Carl, do you feel better that your children are going to have a more equal outcome? Are you on board, comrade, or aren't you?
No, comrade. I'm not. You're going to take me out back and shoot me in the head because I'm not on board with this shit. This is the same with the BBC Pay. I'm going to do a video on this tomorrow. It's utterly fucking infuriating. Everyone's just like, oh my god, fucking Chris Evans gets £2 million a year. Why is that? I'll tell you fucking why, right? Because BBC Two has a national reach of 15 million people. Out of all of their viewers, unique viewers, 15 million, right? And 9 million of those tune in for Chris Evans' breakfast show. That's fucking why. He's just the largest radio show in the country. And they're like, why does he get so much money? That's fucking why. Merit. Why doesn't this woman who's like 7th on the list get as much money? Because she doesn't bring in as many people.
I'm pretty sure that we're just going to have to call the commissar because you have outright told me
they are literally mate. They are literally not one of these women working at the BBC has leveled an accusation of sexism yet, and the media are already talking about how the BBC is possibly going to have to cut their salaries and give some of it to women.
Really?
On the basis that they're fucking men, mate.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
No, well, I'm just saying. Seriously, right? I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying that we have to be in favor.
They're about to take huge fucking salary cuts so the women can have more money.
It's for equal outcomes. Yeah, exactly. Are you saying you are against equal outcomes, Sargon?
Don't
you care about your children?
I think you could legitimately call that a form of oppression to Chris Evans and Gary Lineker and whatnot.
No,
just have them arbitrarily stolen from them.
Okay,
exactly. They're men.
White colonial men. If this was 500 years ago, they'd be in India fucking hanging people. All right, so honestly, that's what's what.
Jonathan Holmes, he's a fucking multi-award winning presenter. He's been doing it for 18 years. He got axed and he got told why he wasn't like taken on again. He says, renewed their contracts and stuff. They're like, we just want more non-white people. It's like he was really well respected. It's just like,
it makes sense. It's all I'm saying is it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me that when you have equal outcomes, you have greater justice. So I'm just saying, if we can find every person in Britain, because this is part of the British Authority, if we just find every person there with, let's just say, sexist books, anything from Japan, and we just burn it, then we will have a greater society. Do you disagree with that?
Well, no, this is great because this sounds exactly like a Thomas Sowell argument. It's like the idea that like when everyone has exactly the same, that will be just is total horseshit.
If no one has anything, everyone will be equal.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but and it's exactly, you know, it's not, people earn different rewards and different punishments. You know, you're literally punishing people who have done nothing wrong on the basis that some women aren't happy with the pay they have.
People are saying in the chat that I'm mimicking Destiny. They're saying it sounds like a Destiny debate.
It's funny though, but no, but seriously, right? No one's even leveled an accusation of sexism. It's all just hanging in the air. They're all primed and like Pavlovian slavering at the mouth, expecting the allegation of sexism. It's just like everyone's like, right, well, it's coming. Oh God, what are we going to do? The pay's actually different. Yeah, just justify it. Just turn around and say, yeah, this is why it's different. And if you think you've got any other reason, you're wrong. And if you're not wrong, bring a fucking lawsuit and we'll settle it in court. You know, they could just do this, but they're fucking spineless. It's so weird.
How about, who was the guy? Was it the head of the BBC that was out there going like, "Oh, we're trying, we're doing everything we can"?
I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but yeah, he was basically doing exactly that. He would literally no. There was a clip on Newsnight. It's gonna this will be what gets me a copyright strike for my video tomorrow. So I won't make any money on it, but it's fine because it's so fucking, it couldn't be more rich, right? He literally parrots the ideology of, well, we want everyone to be equal, blah, 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 blah. And then he literally goes, like 5 minutes later, he's like, well, I mean, everything's done on an individual case-by-case basis, so we'll have to see if some people do, you know, do this, do that. It's like, no, dude, that's totally the opposite of what you've just said. You can't do both of these things. Make it more equal and do it on a case-by-case basis. You can't. They're incompatible.
Well, it's somebody trying to say anything to get himself out of the position.
He's just parroting that ideology back at them. Yeah. And then when they ask for specifics, he gives them something that completely contradicts it. And they don't call him on it. They don't say, yeah, but how's that going to make women more equal? You know, if we do it on a case-by-case basis, we might find that they're not.
Yeah. I just think that I think it's important on most people in your nation to just not own a television, to just not watch television, because I honestly, of all the things in your country that need to apparently be privatized, it is the BBC.
Yeah, no, really.
They're out of fucking control.
Yeah, it's the diversity officer there gets 6 figures a year, the chief of diversity. And he literally, it's like a priest. He literally just has a job, 120 grand a year, something like that. Which is more than an MP.
To ordain the organization.
Yeah, to ordain diversity in the organization. Yeah, cleanse it of original sin. And the thing is, he's fucking failed because all of the, you know, the Guardian and all that are printing like, well, I mean, don't just look at the women ratio. What about the non-white ratio? And I was like, fucking here we go. You know, it's like there's no pleasing these people, and there's no end to it. And I mean, the diversity officer has failed. Surely. I mean, this is a catastrophic
thing
for
the
diversity officer as well.
He's fine. He's fine.
No, but these people are equal. No, he needs to be fired. We need a new diversity officer who's actually going to make it diverse instead of just giving lip service. Come on, let's just take this all the fucking way. You know, just go straight to the end fucking condition, in my opinion, and let's show people how awful this is. You know,
I guess if you got to do it with that, well. Yeah, well, that's the fearful thing is if you do it with a publicly funded organization. I mean, why not just give a victory to the right while you're at it? Why not just hand it right to them?
Exactly, it's crazy. The left has to just cut out this intersectional bollocks and go back to being liberal, and then they can start winning again. But until then, they're going to keep fucking losing, and they don't even understand why they keep. Because it's all about being ideological. It's all about being the most pure, and that means being the most ideologically rigorous. And it's like, okay, but that's not a fucking argument. That's not talking about like a situation, a real thing, a solution. That's saying, well, but did you know that you can add another layer of intersectionality on top of this? We haven't considered what this is like from a demi-queer gender dwarf.
Exactly. Where's the article about whether they're able-bodied or not?
Exactly. What about left-handed? You know, I'm a lefty. I'm oppressed class. You know, I'm going to do a video about that as well. You know, how left-handed people are actually in oppressed class with actual claims to victimhood and reparations, and we deserve it. No, and we're also better than you.
You're left-handed?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's next time there's a meetup, I think that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, but you're just a leftophobe. You've been oppressing my people for hundreds of years. Man, left-handed people used to have to, like, you know, write with their right hands or else. Or, you know, they get literally, you know, they get smacked on the wrist and they have a hand tied behind their back so they could only write with their right and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to make a reference to Casino.
We have actually been oppressed in my history. Thank you.
We'll bring you in the back room and then we'll bust your fucking hand with a hammer, and then you'll have to use your rights.
This is typical right-handed oppression of the left-handed people. And the funny thing is, it's all because you're insecure about it. You're like the alt-right with the Jews. You look at our IQ scores.
You're not trustworthy.
Fuck. And that's the typical leftophobia. It's because we're smarter than you righties, and you think that we control the world.
I'm just saying, next time you're in public, they need to be dealt with.
Look at how many of the last, say, 15 presidents have been left-handed. Look, you'll be amazed. You'll be fucking amazed. The Jewish conspiracy has got nothing on the left-handy conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
I've said too much. So.
Just go tug your cock with the left-handed.
I'm not kidding. I think 7 out of the last 15 have been left-handed. Only 12% of the population are actually left-handed as well. So I'm serious.
Well, they can be dealt with.
We've got a higher ratio than the Jews. Get wrecked.
They can be dealt with. Anyways, they'll wear a certain star.
Yeah, no. Well, basically, the shibboleth will be making us write something down. Which hand do you reach for?
I already remember where I was. The specifics have yet to be developed, but the regulator offers some examples. It would be inappropriate and unrealistic to prevent ads from, for instance, depicting a woman. Okay, let me start this again. It would be inappropriate. It depicts family members creating.
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason your screen share's off and my internet. I don't know whether it's my internet or what.
Yeah, mine. I don't know what just happened there. It's not coming back. Let me try to get that back. Yeah, it's not coming back. That's weird.
All right, just carry on reading it.
Anyways, let me just continue on with this so we don't go for 5 hours. But it said, an ad which depicts family members creating mess while a woman has sole responsibility for cleaning it up might be banned under the new guidelines. So if a woman is cleaning by herself, that might be banned under the new guidelines. But again, not a government agency, so it's okay. Don't worry. And I'm sure it will just stay there. I'm sure this won't become everything. I'm sure that we won't have British feminists calling for a third nuclear strike in Japan. I'm sure that won't actually lead to that, and organizations like this backing it for the greater good.
The thing is, though, with that, it's so weird and ideological, isn't it? It's like, what we're going to do, we're going to ban having a single woman cleaning an apartment. It's like,
it's like the fucking
no, but seriously, no other culture on earth has banned that. Yeah. So it's just like, why are you banning it? Yeah. But this is the thing. Like any other culture, you'd be looking at it going, but why? Most of the cleaning done in the country is done by women.
Yeah. I've seen the statistics on who buys those goods.
Yeah,
why do you think all those goods are advertised to women?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows. I mean, feminists always complain that women do more housework than men. It's like, okay, yeah, but that's because women care about it more than men. That's just the reason.
But women buy the products more than men. So they're advertised to women.
But it's just like the whole I mean, that must be the product of an ideological decision, because it's not the product of trying to represent reality as it actually is. Reality as it actually is actually the woman cleaning a house. It's just by the numbers.
But here's the thing:
you're not allowed to do that. Then you're denying reality. This is an ideological decision.
Fine, but
reality is.
And the reason why I'm opposed to these organizations in full, and I'm not joking about that. I legit want every single one of these agencies that get to dictate to whomever about what goes on television, what's allowed on my computer screen, any of it. I want all of them gone. Is because of shit like this. Yeah. Because what this does is it takes something that naturally exists within a free market, where more women than men
naturally exists in the world.
Yes, it is something that reflects reality based on
this is reality. Yeah.
Because of this, they refuse to accept it, and so they're using these organizations, these agencies, to try to force change upon society, to make society reflect their ideology.
Yeah.
And so they're inhibiting the free market from basically doing what is most advantageous for those businesses.
And just for the people working in it, people like this is another thing that I'm going to point out in the video is like, look, if you look at almost any sector, like MPs, about 30% of a third of our MPs are women. Women managers, about a third of the managers are women. Any like scientists and stuff like this. It's always roughly a third of it is female if left to its own devices. It's like, okay, so that's the sort of proportion of women who are interested in going into like that area of that field, like it would naturally do it, You know, there's nothing preventing women doing it. They're 30% of the field. You know, they can obviously do it if they want. It's just most of the time it's men, just given natural proclivities. You know, and so I don't see a problem with that. You know, that to me is, I mean, that's a large number, 30%. You know, that's proof enough that people can go into the field if they're women and there's nothing stopping them. Therefore, why do we have to change anything? You know, it's not like there are loads of women clamoring to get into science and they're being told no.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's the thing, is that like one of the things that ultimately I don't like about this is that we've seen it already with this, and it's why I want any tool that can be used to affect ultimately the lives of otherwise free citizens, such as in this case with these agencies. Because if you are anyone that's working in this field, which people don't want to admit this, and I've played the video of Bill Hicks mocking advertisers, but the people making these ads are artists. These are directors. These are photographers. These are artists that are making these ads. And by doing what you're doing, what you are then doing is telling artists, because the companies won't go against the law. They have to fit within the boundaries of these agencies. And so then you are then taking what you are basically limiting what artists are allowed to create in business, which is, this is the biggest amount of money where they can make money. You're taking that away from them and forcing them to create something through your ideological lens. To me, this is no different than literally Hitler burning a fucking pile of books. It's no different.
It'd be no different to them pushing white nationalist ideology.
Yes.
You know, if they were saying, well, you know, make sure you
can only have white men or white women in advertisements, it would be no different.
Yeah.
I see this, to me, is one of what I see as one of the...
That could be progressive as well.
Well, yeah.
You know, the other way, it could be, you know, no white.
There you go. I mean, anything that can it can reflect easily, you know. But this, to me, is one of, in my opinion, just from my perspective, one of the most offensive things to me. One of the most offensive. What's that?
Can you send me that article through?
Sure.
Because there was a particular wording on one
equal outcomes. That was the one that nabbed me, or I'm like, I gotta show this to Sargon.
Oh yeah, no. Well, yeah, this is. I mean, this is the thing, right? On like, I don't know, Wikipedia or something, they say that I called feminism social communism. It's like, okay,
no, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
you are not wrong.
You know, what the fuck do you think they want?
They're literally talking about equal outcomes in culture. Socially, they want women to have equal outcomes.
Regardless of the... the Doctor Who thing really pissed me off, right? Because, like, they announced, oh, by the way, the woman who's going to replace Peter Capaldi is going to get exactly the same money. It's like, okay, well, I don't know how the Doctor Who thing works. You know, maybe they all get exactly the same. But the fact that they had to announce it kind of makes me think that they don't. And that each actor ends up negotiating their salary based on, I don't know, their previous body of work, like,
and how the fucking show's doing.
40 fucking years or something. He's got like a huge list of nominations and awards for things. She's been doing it far less, and she's got 5. He's, you know, I'll count it all up tomorrow when I do the video. I don't know, but it was a fucking huge list. And it's just like, look, these are not the same people. He's 20 years older than her. He's had a much longer career. She's only been doing it for like 10 years. You know, and it's like,
the thing is that all of this equal shit, I don't believe any of it. And that was one of the things I was going to say, is that, like, when they say, like, well, we need, let's say, women in tech to be 50-50, I don't believe for a fucking second. No, you're losing sight of it. Yeah, I don't believe they mean 50. Because if, let's say, it hits 52, do you think they're going to stop?
Oh, they certainly didn't with universities and female hires, did they?
And now they're having problems with actually finding men. They have a fucking entire universities full of fucking women.
Yeah, like 60% of college admissions now are women, and it's like, okay.
So, have they stopped? Have they stopped?
No, of course not. No,
and so that's what I mean. None of this shit about equal bullshit is all rhetoric. What it means is more of us.
Yeah,
more of our influence.
Yeah, more control.
It could be 100% women, and they would still not be satisfied. I don't think that there's any way to sate these people. And that would be if I was in an argument on television or somewhere in a setting where I was actually debating someone and they said, we want things to be even, we want things to be 50-50, I would just flat out say, you're lying. You don't believe that. If it were 52, would you go away? Would you say problem solved and be done? No, you wouldn't.
But even if there were, like, you can't justify it. Why do you want that? Well, because we think it would be good. Okay, but I don't think it'd be good, and I don't. Well, I don't think it'd be anything. I don't think it'd be good or bad, and I don't want you to have this kind of regulatory control over advertisements.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want you to be able to infringe on people's creative ability, even if it's in fucking ads. I don't like ads.
Again,
and
it's like I say, it's you like the part of this is again like the reason why. Well, the reason
control.
Well, the reason why I don't want any of these agencies to exist is because I know that based on what I know about these agencies is that these agencies are super ingrained within the industries that they represent. Super ingrained.
Yeah.
And they hold tremendous, I mean, one of the biggest, especially with video games, with the E3. E3 is one of the biggest fucking conventions of the year for gaming. And that is organized by the ESA.
Yeah.
And you think that that's not going to have any kind of trickle-down effect? That's going to have no effect over what's allowed at E3?
They become absolute institutions because it's the go-to thing for an argument. You know, well, the ESA figures are this. You know, it becomes credible and powerful.
And that's the other thing about the ESA, and I don't want to get into it, but they don't actually provide the numbers, the data sets that they use to claim all their bullshit statistics. So I just assume now that the information they put out is pure propaganda. They're just getting the end result that they want, and that is what they publish.
I remember when I did the video about it just before Gamergate happened. I had to use mobile data to give people the breakdown of the kinds of games men and women are playing, because the ESA, like you say, for the PC, I couldn't find it. They were just overall figures. They wouldn't tell you what kinds of games men and women were playing. I had to go for mobile information about that.
Yeah. And I'm glad to say that now there's people on 4chan and others that are now taking, I saw it on Kotaku in Action a while back. It was like a very brief thing where they were starting to research into it, asking people to start digging into the organization. And absolutely. And I think that it's just going to show that when you get down to rock bottom in terms of just every single one of these kind of agencies, these people are just censors. That is their only means to existence, and they see themselves as necessary in order to control the flow of what's acceptable in society. And I'm telling you,
to liberate people from gender is what they would say.
Yeah, well, and that's the issue, is that once upon a time they may have been censors for maybe the conservative right, or more just a you know not a sterile, but a what would be the word? I can't remember. It starts with an S, I think. Austere. That's the word I'm going for. Austere class of people, of like just somebody like
moral busybodies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they are. Yeah.
Pretty much. But it's been moved from that paradigm, and now it is being taken over. And this is just the agency represented in this article is just an example of they're now being taken over, and that includes the ESA, by leftist fucking lunatics.
Oh, yeah, and in fact, that lunatics. Absolutely, and that really nicely brings me back to the bit I wanted to read out, actually, because this is just complete proof, right? This is Guy Parker, the chief executive of the Advertising Standards Authority. So this is one of the head honchos.
Yes,
and this is his opinion. While advertising is only one of many factors that contribute to unequal gender outcomes, tougher advertising standards can play an important role in tackling inequalities and improving outcomes for individuals, the economy, and society as a whole. Holy shit, that is way beyond your remit.
Yeah.
You should not be
You literally want to engineer society. That's what he's saying right there.
How can I engineer society from the Advertising Standards Authority? No, dude, don't even fucking think that you've got any right to do that at all. You know?
How, I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, how authoritarian is that? Because I'm thinking like a 9 to a 10.
Yeah, I don't see how we can hold him accountable. And this is the thing. I emailed the BBC and I tried to get in contact with their diversity guy. Couldn't get like an interview with him or anything like that.
Yeah, no,
like
no
the 120K
shit.
one.
I'm not surprised by that.
I would love to have fucking.
Well, he doesn't want to talk to you because then you give light to what he fucking does and what he represents.
It just like, well, I think it's better. Okay, but it's not liberal, is it? It's really authoritarian. It's actually weirdly communist in a way. You know,
well, that's what surrounds almost every single bit of this is how much of this actually ties to communism and Marxism specifically. I mean, I've been saying it forever that anytime anyone mentions objectivism is something derived from Marxist theory. I own, it's on my desk right here. George Lucas, History and Class Consciousness. It is fucking Marxism. So when you talk about it, just say, by the way, I'm going to talk about some Marxist theory in regards to our free economy. And everyone's going to say, oh, you're totally full of shit. I'm not listening to a word you're going to say, because they know it doesn't apply. Mm-hmm. You can use it to understand the economy to some extent, but these people are no longer concerning themselves with understanding. It's literally, how do we force this into the market? How do we force the market to act upon our ideology?
Yeah.
And it's like, I would just call this fucking Parker guy a fucking communist. You're a communist, and you're the head of this fucking massive organization.
I mean, at least from a social aspect, you know, economically he might not be a communist, but socially, yeah, he effectively is. He wants equality of outcome across the board and to be enforced. I mean, and the problem, the problem for these people, which is the funny thing, like going back to the BBC pay scandal thing particularly, the problem for the people opposing the BBC's pay grades and whatnot is the human rights of the people involved. They're not allowed to just simply fire people because they're male, or, you know, pay them less and things like that.
Apparently they are.
Well, that's the thing. The problem they're going to have is, like, because the guy was like, well, we've got to do this slowly and incrementally, in increments. And it's like, yeah, but you're talking about fundamentally discriminating against someone's pay on the basis that they're a man. That's illegal. And they know it's illegal, which is why they can't just go, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. Because otherwise they just do it tomorrow. Just to shut the fuck up.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's one of the craziest parts about all of this is that all the anti-discrimination laws that these same people help put into law, it's now actually acting as a bulwark against them at this point.
Yes.
Because it's so fucking insane.
It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. But I remember when Jessica Valenti was like, you know, here's a radical idea. Why don't we just pay men less? I better save that for the video tomorrow, because fuck, it's coming true.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually listening to her. They're listening to. I mean, Jessica Valenti might as well be heading this goddamn thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it really is something. I would say that you guys are a little bit worse off than us when it comes to this kind of thing.
2014, and now in 2017, we're literally.
Yeah, they're literally trying to put it in practice. Yes. They're now actually trying to do it.
I just cannot believe.
And the other thing is too, is
there is no alternative narrative.
How do you have a conservative fucking?
Oh, they've lost the social argument. They've lost it. That's why Theresa May kept getting hammered. They can't make moral arguments for anything. It's like, look, they're fucking socialists. You can make a hell of a moral argument against socialism, Theresa, but you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, with Venezuela being what it is right now, you can't just name drop Venezuela and just walk away.
Yeah, just.
Why don't you do the socialist thing, Theresa May? Oh, Venezuela. Why don't you go ask them? Bye. Just walk away from the microphone.
Yeah, exactly. Just every time you have a Venezuela, fuck off. Just now.
Yeah.
You
don't ask me. Go ask Corbyn about Venezuela.
Corbyn.
Go have him hug Chavez again.
Seriously, he literally said, and Venezuela just appropriated like a GM Motors factory. He's just a few steps behind on the road. That's all it is. It's the same fucking road. It's like, no, government is there to protect your property rights. You fucking loon. Just it just frustrates the fuck out of me, man.
Yeah, I would say that something in your culture is definitely out of whack when you have people, because I don't think that would at least happen in the United States. I would say we have a little bit of an overreach when it comes to the government and RICO statutes and eminent domain. There's complaints about that from different people, but that isn't a cultural thing. Like, it's not. It's part of the government. It's not part of the culture. But in the UK, there seems to be like this actual body of people. I'm not sure how big they are, but it's like, by the way, property rights are bullshit, and it's just like, wow, you guys are fucking insane.
Yeah, they don't consider themselves to own.
I mean, how many hundreds of years would that be setting back the country? How many hundreds of years if they just got rid of property rights? It's insane.
I don't even know. I mean, like, if the government just started appropriating like private businesses, like in Venezuela, it would just be the same. It would just go terrible. And especially coming up to Brexit, man, when people are flighty anyway, and Jeremy Corbyn's like, let's just start taking.
Oh my God, you have every rich person in the country bail. Fucking rich person
exactly. Bail. And I mean, he was literally targeting foreign investors. He was like, the Russian oligarchs who own a second house in London. It's like, but, you know, okay, but if you're German, you're still thinking, hang on.
That would be the big thing about what would happen. It wouldn't just be the flight of rich people, so you lose like the taxes on them. It would be the divestment of the UK.
It would
that would be the big deal.
Yeah.
Would people would pull their money out of the UK.
I mean,
that
Tony
God.
Blair came out and was like, "Look, Brexit and Corbyn are going to be a really bad idea. It's got to be one or the other," and he's right. I mean, yeah. But I mean, I personally think Corbyn is going to be a bad idea, regardless of what he get. You know, regardless of what.
Well, again, it's just like I used to when people compare him to Bernie Sanders and that. Like I used to think that there was some kind of similarity, but I have never ever heard Bernie Sanders say something that fucking radical.
No, but Corbyn fancies himself some sort of revolutionary leader.
Yeah, I guess so. And the fact that he's running around with fucking communist flags all around him, calling for the end of property rights, it's like, holy shit.
Apparently, it's quite difficult to get a photo of Jeremy Corbyn.
Would you consider yourself to be far left, sir?
Yeah, he's so fucking far left. It's scary. And the thing is, momentum are cancer as well. Momentum are absolute cancer. I've got a video planned on them as well because, like, they just keep doing acts of violence towards fellow MPs.
Oh, you mean his supporters?
Yeah, his supporters. Yeah, he's like hard left. They call themselves Momentum, but they used to be called like Militant or something.
Yeah,
in the 80s. But they're like hard left, violent, radical leftists who want to, the anarchist socialist types, and they want to overthrow the state.
I mean, I would have to say that there's just not enough resources in the police to actually deal with those people. They're spending a bit too much observing Tommy Robinson. That's their main priority.
Arresting, man, trying to overthrow the state.
Arresting and
got racists on Twitter. Quick, get those racists on Twitter.
It's just I don't really. We're getting way off topic, but that was just one of the things is that like Tommy Robinson got arrested again, and it was like literally the next day or the day after that they asked there was a terror attack, and then they asked what's his face in London, the mayor there, like, what are you doing about terrorism? Like, can't we observe more people on the terror watch list? And he's like, yeah, we don't have the resources for that. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yep, there was something like 100 of them or something, wasn't there? He was just
no, it was more than that. I'm pretty sure.
Was it more? Was it like 200 or 300?
I don't remember.
I remember it was a lot, and it was just
it was a lot.
Just, I mean, oh man, it's fucking scary. They make so many fucking arrests.
Yeah, well, Tommy Robinson. Oh man, I'll never get over the fact that like every time I see a video of his on Twitter, it's just him being followed by more cops, and it's just like literally all day this guy's getting followed around, and it's me like you got some like jihadi running through the streets with a fucking knife, like stabbing women. It's just like meanwhile, like all the cops in the city are following Tommy Robinson in a bar. Oh my god,
it's ridiculous.
London is fucking out of control. I'll say that because that's where this is coming from. By the way, all this advertising,
highly progressive in London. They very much Labour voting, Remain voting, and oh my god, the fucking Ramonas, man! They are getting off on the fact that the UK is taking an economic hit, and everyone was like, "We knew."
Well, it's because it doesn't affect them. They're the bourgeoisie. They don't give a shit. It doesn't affect them.
It doesn't affect the clicks they get on their articles complaining. And the thing is, this constant stream of negativity, I really think is hurting things because they don't seem to understand that a lot of economics and politics is about perception.
Yeah,
with people spending, consumer spending was originally like doing quite well, and they've started like talking about Brexit. Oh, everything's bad, everything's bad, everything's bad. Suddenly, it's dropping off, and it's like, well, maybe they're connected. I do think that. Perception is a big deal, especially in politics as well.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like there are a lot more people who are like less confident about Brexit. It's like, look, everyone knew from the word go. I mean, like, there was no one on either side of the aisle who didn't say whether it happens or not, we're going to take an economic hit.
I think we've actually talked about this before, but I would say that to a large degree, the best way or the best method in which you would have a Brexit with a clean break would be if you had somebody like Theresa May with the spine, or someone say like Nigel Farage get in front of a camera as they're doing the proceedings to finish off Brexit and actually pull out, and just say we're going to be better off than we've ever been before. Everything's going to be great. It's going to be tremendous. The EU can go fuck itself and it's doomed. And that would be it. They just walk away from the microphone. And the thing would be that it would actually help things. It would make people say like, yeah, we are going to be better off. Fuck them. And it would actually, I would say that it would be a lot better off than you would see if it would, well, we are going to have a major recession and things are going to be really bad and blah, blah, blah. Because then that's what actually guarantees you that a lot of people are going to be pessimistic in terms of the economy, regardless of how it actually is. But if you just stand up to the fucking EU and just say, no, we're actually, this is going to be all us once we leave. And people have no idea how much good this is going to do. And that's one of the things you see from anytime you watch Nigel Farage, is he says that this is going to be an absolute positive.
I mean, like, you hear some rumors from people who deal with the EU in business. And, like, you know, I can't verify any of these rumors, but there's a problem with Greece, basically. It's coming up to needing another bailout or something like that.
You're telling me there's a problem with fucking Greece.
Yeah. It's coming up to another time. It's, you know, going to come around. They're not going to be able to pay back. They're going to default. They're going to basically have to leave the euro, is what I've been hearing. But I don't know whether that's true.
I would say that's the break they need to have.
But the thing is, there seems to be a fear that this is going to tank the EU because it'll tank the euro, and it might.
Well,
Germany is effectively going to have to shoulder all that, and Britain was the second largest net contributor, so they're losing our.
Well, it depends because you're still in. That's the difference. You're still in.
We're not going to pay them anything, or if we pay them stuff, it'll be a greatly reduced amount because we're the eternal angler and we rub our fists.
You got to get out. I don't know why. Other than the fact that half your goddamn conservative party doesn't want to do anything, they want to stay in. Like, why haven't you just pulled the trigger? Why hasn't it just been done with?
Because they want a favorable result. They want a favorable trade deal. Because the thing is, it's in both parties' interest to just have the trade deal. You know, even if they can't have free movement, it's not the end of the world. And it's not like every single one that they have deals with has free movement either. But they're just being really ideological about it. They're just like, well, you need the four freedoms, which is like freedom of goods, capital, people, and something else. But they're like, we want free movement of people, and we're not going to budge. And people are like, well, why? It's like, well, we just don't think it'll work. It's like, what won't work? The deal. Oh, you know, it's like, well, the only reason they ever give is we just don't want to. And it's like, right, okay, so you just want to be able to have a free movement of citizens. Well, that's something that people, when they were voting for Brexit,
how many fucking terror attacks do you guys need before you actually get it?
Yeah, I know. But this is the thing. People just wanted no free movement of citizens. They want no more immigration. It's one of the biggest concerns. And it's not just Muslim immigration we're talking about, right?
No, I get that. I get that was one of the big factors. I just don't understand why that's such a factor outside of like, oh, well, the bourgeois classes want it because they have a summer home in the fucking hills of France.
Yeah, I can only, and the thing is, I think they also go, oh, well, it's just immoral to stop people from coming here. So we're not stopping people from coming here. They just have to apply for a visa. That's it. You know, what's the problem?
It doesn't make any. It's just so fucking ridiculous because it's like if I wanted to come to the UK, I would have to file for a visa.
Yeah, exactly. And I have.
So is it more moral with like the people on the continent of Europe? Is it just more moral with them or something?
I don't know. But the sort of bourgeois left, they treat this like it's some sort of great moral harm that's befell these people. Like, oh my god, this is like a form of oppression.
Whatever. We're just getting way too far off track. I'm just going to say that what they really want is to get fucked in the ass by Islam. That's what I'm going to write this off as.
Well, they don't think that Islam can fuck them in the ass. They've convinced themselves.
Well, they'll find out. They'll find out. Germany will find out. I'll tell you that. Let's have a conversation in 20 years. They'll find out.
Oh yeah. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Germans. Get rid of Merkel.
Imagine France right now, except for literally 100 times worse, and that's going to be Germany.
Have you been following Macron though?
He's been all over the place.
He's been hilarious. Woke centrist Macron. It's the funniest thing in the world. I'm going to do a video on this as well. He's just coming out with shit that's been pissing them off because it's kind of true.
Yeah. Well, it's not just some of the things that he said. He's just been really all over the place because one of the things, did you see that? I'm sure you did see the video where Trump, it was the first visit that Trump had with him, and he shook the other people's hands first, and he like grabbed his hand and yanked him in.
I know.
And that actually pissed me off because it's like, you might not like Trump, but he's currently the president of the hegemon of the world. Who the fuck are you? Like, I saw that as a very clear sign of disrespect towards the United States.
I mean, he did literally tell the press that his thoughts were too complex for them to understand. I'm not joking, right? And then he said he wants to run a Jupiterian presidency. He basically wants to become the new Napoleon or King of France or something like that. That's basically how he's styling himself as some sort of philosopher tyrant.
Yeah, well, he'll have fun. He's not a fun.
No. But then the first thing he came out with is Africans need to stop fucking.
Well, that is true, but he said it in a way that I'm sure was translated poorly.
Yeah, but it just, I mean, like I said, I'm going to do a video about it because it's like, I love the whole like, oh, my thoughts are too complex for you to understand. Okay, how do we solve the problem, Saint Macron? Africans need to stop having so many children. Yeah, well, fucking duh. That's not a great insight, is it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's just this new Plato fucking king emperor. He seems
to have weird and lofty opinions of himself, and it's hilarious.
Whatever.
Him with the brain meme is going to become a thing.
Right, well, we need to get back to this. He can go fuck his grandmother or whatever he does during the day. So let's get back to this. Oh God, where the fuck even were we? That would affect major British retailers like Asda, the supermarket chain, which ran a television commercial that shows a mother bearing the bulk of the work, carrying groceries, cooking, and setting up a Christmas tree, while the father is either passive or absent. The ad ended with the slogan, "Behind every great Christmas, there's a mom." What's amazing is now they're actually having to compete with their own ideology, because no matter what, it's fuck men. That's literally the ad. Fuck men. This
is also fuck women as well, because that's true. Like behind every great, it mostly is.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I wouldn't want to take that away from my wife or my mum. They do put a lot more work in than I fucking.
But they have to stain it. They have to put a stain on that dimension. Like
exactly. They actually do put a lot more work for me. So I mean, like in my case, and my friends' cases, who I know their parents, yeah, that's true. But I mean, I'm not saying that's an objective statement, but it probably is mostly true for most people.
Well, what would be an accurate version of this that maybe, show her would be fair, I would say, is she's doing the bulk of the work, carrying groceries, cooking, setting up a Christmas tree, and she comes home setting up the Christmas tree, and the father comes home wearing a suit and briefcase. That would be fucking accurate.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, I think if this was me, like, if it was something else, and, at the end of it, it was like, right, okay, behind this, it was like this guy who'd done this job. And instead they're like, yeah, we're not going to have that. And now it has to be like someone who didn't do any of the work. I would be pissed off if they were crediting someone who didn't do any of the work.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, but the thing is that even already this has been influenced in a way where before we didn't have the forced censors doing this. Absolutely. And they were already in this position of saying like, yeah, look at this fucking father sitting in his fucking chair doing nothing.
Don't get me wrong, it goes both ways. I'm not saying there aren't stereotypes.
I want to see a fucking advertisement of a fucking woman being at like a coffee shop who's like a fat cunt who's just lipping off to the guy at the cash register or the woman behind the cash register. And she has like I'm with her fucking button on her. And you have someone like me behind her just telling her to shut the fuck up and no one likes her and to go kill herself and make the world better. And then I fucking pay for her coffee and then buy my own coffee because I have fucking done something similar to that in my own life.
Seriously though, I don't understand how like people, how they think. Like I had one say to me the other day on Twitter, right? It was amazing. He was like, like something about like giving me a chance to redeem myself. And I'm sort of thinking, dude, I have done nothing wrong here, you fucking twat. You are part of a community.
Your sins.
No, seriously. That's how unbelievably deep in their ideology they are. They are convinced that they are the only moral people, and everyone else has done something wrong.
It's like a caste system. You are the irredeemable. You are the untouchable.
Exactly. I am at the bottom of the caste system, and they can't stand that I have so many more subscribers than them. It's just like, okay, well, fucking deal with it. Fucking deal with it. I don't give a shit.
I've said this to you before, but I swear to God, man, that when you hit 1 million, I swear there's going to be some kind of fucking freak out. There will be. They will freak the fuck out about it.
Probably. It's so weird how they're like, they're just like they don't try to engage with anything I say.
No, they just insult you and just do shit to you.
Yeah, and so like, And so what I've decided I'm not taking this shit, right? Because the rules say I don't have to take that. And this is really fucking funny. So I started reporting them. And Chrisiosity got banned for tweeting, just calling me names on Twitter. And then Kevin Logan's just like, oh, did you do this? I was like, you're damn fucking right I did this. And I'll do the same to any of the rest of you who send me anything that even looks like it might be offensive. Because these are the rules you wanted, and now I can use them against you. So get fucked. You fucking earned this.
I mean, the thing is, too, is all the dumb fucking shit that they've sent your way over the past few years.
Look at their fucking timelines. It's just constant for years.
And half the people, and I've told you just ignore these fucking people. You're free to do whatever you want. But when it comes to the NAB squad, they're fucking obsessed with you. They are fucking obsessed with you.
And this is why it's so funny that I can say something that doesn't break their terms and conditions, and they'll start sending me abuse that does break their terms and conditions, and I can report them, and Twitter has to suspend them. Yeah. And then they get pissed off. And literally, he gave me the "don't you care about free speech" argument. So I literally just gave them their own, well, it's not the government doing it. She's broken the terms and conditions. She can still speak on other platforms, blah, 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 blah. Literally, they're just default replies back to them. Don't like it, do you?
One of the things about these organizations, about these agencies and the rest of it, to bring it actually back to the article, but it is tied to this, into what you're saying here, that when it comes to these kind of agencies and the rest of it, my fear is that you make them so draconian and insane that you eventually go down and the right wing, the alt-right, the far-right steps right in and takes up the fucking mantle of all this shit. That's my fear. But the other thing is, too, that as it relates to these kind of agencies and the rest, although I don't ever expect myself or anyone that believes what I do to actually have any kind of influence in this, because I think that someone such as myself who is a civil libertarian is naturally opposed to being anywhere near this. But if I had the power, and, with you doing what you're doing here, trying to censor the things that I like, I would use this hammer to crush you with. I would use it against you because I know that given the opportunity, you would be using it against me. And so my opinion is that the censors should be done away with. They should not exist.
Yeah, if they exist, I think they should be applied evenly. That's the thing.
And they will never be. They will never fucking be.
Actually, that's what's happening. I mean, that's why one of them got banned from Twitter.
Those are the rules for a specific organization where there needs to be rules, although they go too far. But what I'm saying in terms of censorship, they will always be partisan in one direction or the other. They will always be that.
Absolutely.
Because they're controlled by humans. They're not laid out. It's basically, these are people literally sitting behind a desk applying the rules as they feel appropriate. That's how they do. Literally, I'm not even bullshitting with these organizations. I've seen it far too many times, especially with the ESA, that they have taken games like Grand Theft Auto 5 with full frontal nudity and violence and shit out the torture scenes. And they have given it a mature rating. They've stamped it on there so fucking quick, you would think they never even played the game, which they didn't. They just stamped it a mature rating. It hit the fucking the shelves. And my thing is, I have no problem with any of the things that are in Grand Theft Auto being there. But the issue is every single game that comes from the East, every single one, it sits in a queue, and they have sent games back that have no nudity and tell them to restrict it further.
They have the impression of the West as being highly censorious when it comes to women's bodies because of feminists.
And they are. It's true. Yeah, it's true. And I've seen the ESA do it too many times that it cannot conceivably be a coincidence that games in the United States with nudity, full nudity, can be published without a second thought. And other games are literally denied any rating, denied a rating, sent for approval and denied a rating, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases. Yeah. That's how much it costs to get a rating on these games sometimes. And they take the money and they deny them. Yeah. And because of that, they literally can't enter the market.
So someone just sent me a comment which I thought was good. Have you heard the rumors of a female James Bond?
Oh my God! Well, the thing is, the franchise at this point, in my opinion,
I literally don't care.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't like.
I don't even care. You've killed the franchise, so I don't even care.
Yeah,
they had. Go on.
The joke was the new Jane Bond should be renamed 0077 cents on the dollar.
Oh, it was a joke. Okay. But there was literally, and I mean this, there was an email that leaked from a studio head that wanted that black guy that's playing the shooter or whatever, the gunslinger in that book, that James or the Stephen King movie, that black guy Idris Elba.
Yeah,
Idris Elba, you know what I'm talking about? The black guy.
Yeah, the Dark
Tower. Yes, Idris Elba. There was a studio head in a leaked email that was actively trying to put pressure on the producers of it to put Idris Elba as the next James Bond for no other reason than, wouldn't it be good if we had a black James Bond?
To be fair,
that's a real story.
Probably would be pretty good as James Bond.
But that's the thing, is that if you had people writing a story that said, you know what, we're going to have the next James Bond, and it's going to be, we want this kind of guy. We want this kind of guy. Very suave, very slick, very clean cut, very much, he's built, but he's not too much like what's his name? The current guy. Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
He's Daniel Craig is too emotionless. He's too big. We need a more charismatic guy. What about Idris Elba? Maybe he'll fit. Let's do a tryout. Let's do a tryout. See how he does. And if he gets it and he goes, yeah, that was the best one. He read the lines. He did well with the script. And he gets it. I'd be totally fine with it. But everyone knows
him being a good James Bond.
But everyone at this point knows that's not what would happen.
No.
Everyone knows that's not. He would just be a diversity hire.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing that really annoyed me about the Dark Tower, because so much of the story is focused around racism, and it requires
for him to make any sense. I get. I've seen your videos on it. Are you going to watch it at all? Have you watched it?
The Dark Tower? It hasn't out yet. I've seen advertisements for it. Yeah, I know. I don't think it's actually out yet. Or if it's out, it's literally just come out, and I haven't gone to see it yet. But the thing is, it's more annoying though. It's like the gunslinger was meant to be scrawny, and it's not that he was physically intimidating.
He was supposed to be Clint Eastwood, a more lanky version of Clint Eastwood.
And so it was more the sort of, it wasn't the fact that he's physically intimidating guy or anything like that. It's the look, these like bombardier blue eyes, and that's how it's described. So look, Idris Elba, it just looks wrong because he can't look that way. I mean, in everyone's heads, he's
just not that actor.
Yeah, exactly, he's just not that guy. You may as well put like John Belushi doing it.
Seriously,
it's just find someone who looks like Clint Eastwood, for fuck's sake. How hard is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a certain look that certain actors have that he just doesn't, and I don't think that it's anything against him as an actor, but it's obvious. But it's you and me having a reasonable conversation about it, rather than someone looking at it through an ideological lens, saying, "Well, we need someone who is black to play this role because blacks are inferior
it's
to us."
It's the complete opposite of like the ideological lens you should have, which is like the fan fiction lens or something like that. The fan of the thing, it's a lens all of its own. Like when like I'm watching Prometheus or fucking Alien Covenant, I've got my Alien fanboy lens on, and I am just nitpicking the shit out of everything in it that a normal person hasn't got a clue about and doesn't care about because they don't wear that lens. It's the same with the feminists putting on the gender studies lens. Suddenly it's like, oh god, this is completely wrong. It's they should be making it with the lens of I'm a Dark Tower fan on. Okay, what's wrong?
No, that's even if they wanted to just do it from a cynical perspective of how to make the most money, even there they would still come up with something better than him, because Aegis Eldred just doesn't fit the role, and obviously it's largely because he's fucking black.
No, it's not just that though.
Well, it's because of the story, the lore, that he doesn't fit.
Yeah, but it's not just that either. Like he walks like a strong man. And it's not that Roland, isn't described as not walking like a confident person.
But he's lanky. He's not.
Yeah, he's lanky and like Clint Eastwood. It's not that he lacked confidence. It's just it was a quiet confidence, and I get
you. I totally get you.
About dead people, and Idris Elba, he's got the sort of more traditional action movie sort of look about him.
Yeah,
and
definitely. It would be like putting Arnold Schwarzenegger in the position.
Yeah, exactly.
It just wouldn't work.
And he doesn't.
Or Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, and he doesn't have like the squint, the eye, the charisma of it. It's something very specific, and it's just Idris Elba just isn't the guy for that. As well as the fact that he's black and it fucks the canon, and the thing is, he just doesn't look like he's from the Wild West. He doesn't sound like he's from the Wild West.
That's
he doesn't
true.
look like it. It's just like it's just wrong.
You know what I would imagine to be, who would, knowing what you said about the lore of that book and what I've read on my own about that story, I would say that somebody to do that kind of like, that kind of movie, at least from my perspective, would be Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Because he would focus more on
yeah.
the Wild Wild West
Yeah,
aspect of
but
it.
not only that, Tarantino's character building has always been really good.
Yeah, that too. It would.
Really,
I would
really
say
good.
that it would be like you don't want it to be like a generic action movie because that's not the lore.
No. The action, like the thing, that's the thing, right? With the gunslinger, it's like there isn't that much action. A lot of it is build up to make the action count.
Yes. And that's what I mean. That's why I think Quentin Tarantino would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Tarantino would have done a really great job. But I mean, like, who's the guy who plays Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones?
Oh, that's a good.
You know that guy? Right. Let me just find.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Let
me.
I don't remember the guy's name.
Oh, Ian Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. He would be pretty good. I think though he might be a little bit too old for that role though.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. Roland's meant to be described as like it's like a fantasy epic. So he's been doing this journey for thousands of years, or like he's like 1,000 years old.
Oh, then maybe, yeah, maybe.
Magically, time is distorted, and he's been doing it through the the void forever or something. But he's meant to look like a really rough, rugged old dude.
Yeah, then maybe so. Maybe he would be good in that role.
Yeah, honestly, he would be such a better choice than someone who doesn't look like that. he's got the windswept face look sort of thing.
Yeah,
he's got.
It's funny that both actors would have an English accent. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be strange. But,
or actually, Scottish, actually.
Yeah, but it's 1:30 here though, man. So I think I might head off.
All right.
But it's been really good talking to you. It's been really fun just shooting shit.
Yep, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I'll speak to you later.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
All right, so that's Sargon dropping out because it's late where he is, and we've gone for quite a while, later than I really wish we would have gone. But oh well, we'll finish this up here right now. I won't cut it off real quick, but we will. Let me check the super chat to see. Thank you, Nigerian Prince. Thank you, Craig. I'm sorry I didn't ask fucking Sargon about traps. Sorry I didn't ask him about Alex Jones. He knows. I've already pressured him on Alex Jones a number of times, so he fucking knows, guys. But let's head to the chat, and we'll get in a few last questions, and then we will finish this up because it's been going for quite a while. So yeah, I'll open this up to the chat. Go ahead and say what you need to say. I'll check Twitter to see if we got anything caught up there. Thanks to Sargon, even though he's gone. I'll say it again. Thanks for Sargon for turning up and staying here with me and going through all the shit that I wanted to go through. There's a lot of fucking shit on Twitter. Oh God, chat. Oh my God. Apparently somebody somebody did a mashup of me and Trump on Twitter. Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. There's pretty good mashups between me and Donald Trump. The first one where it says my use of social media is not presidential. It's the modern incarnation of Hitler. That's a pretty fucking good one. Apparently somebody sent me an article from the Washington Post saying that fucking Venezuela is falling apart. Okay, apparently it was a YouGov poll. So somebody sent a link that apparently 80% of Democrats believe that there was some shit involved with. So I guess his link wasn't necessarily wrong. Okay, I guess that's it for Twitter. So we. Oh my God. Okay. Well, let's. I'll do a final question, and then I gotta stop because I gotta go for a jog, and it's like fucking 8:30. I got no thoughts on the fucking stupid anti or the alt-right video by that rock band or punk rock band or whatever the fuck. I don't care. That's my answer. I don't give a shit. Cringy bullshit. Nigerian Prince says on Twitter, "Great stream, boys. You should collab more often." I will respond to you, Nigerian Prince. Yes. I hope you guys enjoy this. Nigerian Prince asks again. I guess this isn't the last question. Can you give please some insight as to why you go jogging? It's to not be fat, Nigerian Prince. That's why. And Sarkhan responded on Twitter immediately and liked it. There you go, Nigerian Prince. There you go. He agrees with you, bruh. I actually recorded a video talking or more or less like ranting about Telltale and to some degree BioWare that I probably won't get to today, but I'll definitely work on tomorrow once I'm done with work. I got a couple cases tomorrow that I can finish up, and then I can work on that tomorrow and put it up. It'll just be a quick video just to get something up. And it's if you haven't seen it, it's pretty amazing on the direction that Telltale's going. It's fucking unreal. But yeah, you'll get to see that later. So it's funny. All right, so yeah, last question, guys. Last question, legit. Last question, and then we're out. Then we're done. Then you guys can get fucked. And before you go, please be sure to head on down to the description and subscribe to me on Patreon. Follow those links. Buy some candy from J-List. Buy some fucking wank fodder from J-List. Buy some fucking shit from PlayAsia. You know you want it. You know you need to get something. Some kind of fucking game, some kind of electronic device, something to fucking take the fucking existential angst out of you. Just go get it. Follow those links. Go get it, guys. Go get your fucking food. Stuff it into your fucking maw, and just alleviate the pain that way. Any other last questions? Anything else? We just need one. We need a genuine question to fucking finish this up. And if we don't get it, then it's just going to continue forever. This fucking thing will just continue forever until it fucking ends when I fucking Linkin Park myself. That's how this will end if you don't give me a goddamn question. Okay, so the question, I guess this is going to be Miles' book is fine. It's not really Jesus. All right, where's that question? Where'd it go? No, I didn't figure out that issue with that other affiliate. I still have to do that. Alkuziel, whatever, says, "How did you and Sargon start talking?" And I guess that's not the best question to finish up on, but I do know that we started talking during Gamergate. I think it was because I tweeted shit at him, or I said something on one of his videos, and I believe eventually we just talked enough where I got invited on a stream. And that was during Gamergate. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. I don't remember the first stream I was on. It might have actually been the one with Armored Skeptic. That might be the first stream that I was on, and that's how I actually got to know Sargon, is that he invited me on. But beyond that, I don't really remember. But I would say that that's probably where it happened. And people have sent me clips a couple times saying that he actually, that Armored Skeptic, the one time he's ever referred to me, was he said like that I was on a stream with Sargon and someone else and that one weeb. And that was a reference to me. I actually did. A couple of people sent me that shit to me, and I thought that was funny. I laughed at that. I don't even remember what we talked about, and I'd have to go back and look. But I just thought that was funny. Yes, that was all the way back in 2015. That was a long fucking time ago. All right, so yeah, we'll call that the final question of the stream. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining me and enjoying Sargon and all that shit. And enjoying. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go to those links. I hope you fucking subscribe to my channel. I hope if you aren't subscribed, you fucking kill yourself. Unless you do subscribe, then I love you. And if you go to my Patreon account and support me there, then I more than like you. Or love you. Whatever I just said. I don't really remember. But in any case, I'm probably going to go for a jog, and that will probably be the rest of the night. All right. Yeah, that's going to be it. All right. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. That's it.